So you can catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan scratch it. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it.
What you know about classic music?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Retro Wrestling Review Series. I'm Owen the Birdman Finch, and I'm here with...
James the Heatman Hebert for the very last time for a long time. Well, I'll be coming back to Retros at least. But yeah, I mean, we're finally doing this. What is it, fall? It's fall now? It was supposed to be in the summer, but...
Yeah, this retro's a month and a half in the making. I'll go through, like, why this retro... So, James and I met to the SummerSlam 2005 retro, which that was recorded even before All In.
Yep.
It was recorded a long-ass time ago. That we were going to do Bash at the Beach 2000. The reason why it hasn't happened was, I think one night I was watching it, so then I got tired, so we were going to push it back a day anyways. Then Wyndham Rotunda died, so we're like, okay, we need to do a retro to pay tribute to him type of thing.
Yeah.
The last retro we did wasn't exactly the greatest time. It was going to come out when we recorded Payback 2017 retro. So, well, like, yeah, and then I went on vacation to Hershey. Then I came back. I had to get caught up with WWE and AEW. Which AEW took a while because I missed two of big pay-per-views in between that. I missed All In and All Out. And then, I just got tired. This is one of those shows where you can't be tired and you can't be in a bad mood to watch it. So either I was in a bad mood or tired, so that I never watched it. Then we were trying to make the rundown work, and we were trying to really get that done.
I ended up quitting as all this was going on for modern wrestling content, so that kind of threw a monkey wrench.
And then all of a sudden, I'll admit, last minute, you're like, okay, if we don't get this, we'll just cancel it, no big deal. Then
yeah, because at that point, I was just like, okay, like, we've delayed this way too goddamn long, like, we just need to either do it or not at this point. Yeah.
So then I was just going to be like, okay, you know what? If it's not that big of a deal, we won't do it. Then all of a sudden, James is like, no, we're doing this now. We've watched the show now. We're doing this.
Yeah, because literally the day before, he's like, I can't do it. And I'm like, I just watched the show with the promise we were doing it.
Yeah, so. Yeah, then I had so this was last weekend. Then I had like a last weekend, which just my schedule just consistently changed. I didn't know what was going on. So then, I finally watched it Tuesday night, and then we were gonna record it. Then my phone shit the bed. Pretty much, I was trying all day to fix it.
Yeah, it was to the point too. Like this was after I made the announcement of announcements, by the way, which I don't plan on bringing up again. If you know, you know. So it was a shit show for the both of us anyway. So we were like, well, as long as we get it done this week, I don't care. So we held off till Friday.
And we were like, we're gonna do this now because we both watched the show. I ain't watching the show for nothing. And this is a bad. We'll just say now this is a bad show. So we're like, I'm not gonna waste my time watching it.
Yeah, I mean it's. So I will say this. It's not as bad as I remember it being. I think that's fair to say because I thought the entirety of the show was dog shit. It's actually like the last four matches that were pretty fucking bad.
I mean, I'll just say this. The show's not the greatest anyways, but I don't think it gets like to the point where it's like unsalvageable until like the last four matches.
Yes.
And
yes.
then you know,
There was actually decent matches and decent storytelling, and it wasn't god awful. Like I actually was sitting back and I'm like, huh. There are certain aspects of the show I'm enjoying. I'm actually surprised. There was like a few hiccups still, like here and there. We may differ on some of them because I didn't mind all the Russo-rific bullshit.
We will differ on some of them, yeah.
But there was definitely the one that we definitely agree sucked is unanimous, which is why the show is existing. And
so
it's kind of ironic that the all-in nonsense happened. It's kind of a reason I'm wearing a Punk shirt is because the reason why the wrestling industry has gotten as bad as it fucking has when it comes to the toxic bullshit. Well, you can point back to this event and you can point back right here and yeah.
Like when we get to that situation, like let's just talk about it now. Not the situation, but let's just say this. Imagine if we had social media
when Russo fucking cut his shoot promo on Hogan. Oh man. Well, here's the problem. If social media was around and as prevalent as it was then as it is today, they wouldn't have even gotten to this point because Russo and fucking Hogan would have been chased out of the industry anyway, for better or worse. True. So, like, that
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but this popularized what the industry is today, for better or worse. Yeah. So.
But yeah, let's get to why this show's kind of happening. So, SummerSlam 05, we were making a lot of comparisons to, like, this show, I think. Mainly I was, too, because they do a lot of stuff in SummerSlam 05 that was really, hot at the time.
Questionable. Some were hot, some were questionable. Some
yeah. But yeah, I think we did. I think we make the comparison to WCW Bash of the Beach because everything they kind of tried the SummerSlam 05 method and it just backfires in their face because they were a bit too early to the party, type of thing. So,
well, yeah, they also didn't. Let's also just blow the elephant up in the damn room here. WWE can get away with the campiness and the bullshit because whether you love Vince or hate him, and Lord knows I've said plenty about this guy, he knows, even then, how to filter the shit out to make the story make sense.
By the way, we have to say...
You take away that filter? Whole shit. I mean,
yeah.
It's...
We have to be clear... By the way, we have to be very clear about which Vince we're talking about, because obviously we have two Vince...
Yeah, we're talking about the Vince from the...
McMahon.
We're talking about the Vince McMahon. I'll even give him a pass on the fucking downturn before the Attitude Era. So basically, we're talking about the Vince McMahon from when he started launching the WWF TakeOver all the way to the end of the Ruthless Aggression Era, I'd say. He had his hand on the pulse for the most part. So he knew what was shit. He knew what aspects of a storyline were good and what could get over. And he'd approve things, and he'd change things, and then it would be good. You take away that filter, and it's fucked. The system's fucked. And this show was very much living proof of that, like, without a doubt. So
before we break the show down, it's been a while since we've done a retro, so let's kind of talk about what the wrestling industry was like at this time. Because in two different companies, it's two different worlds. WWF was thriving in 2000. It was like it had the best ratings. It had the best mid-card division.
Best ratings, best mid-card, best tag team, best hardcore division, best everything. Literally everything was picture perfect. You didn't need to change it. Even some of the campiness and bullshit. Some of the stuff that was bad was still entertaining to watch. Everything was firing on all cylinders. You couldn't stop the WWF at the height of their fucking popularity at this time. This was peak WWF.
There's a reason, let's just say, that a lot of our retro picks have been WWF pay-per-views from 2000 because they were that damn good type of thing.
Dude, it was unreal how and they did a 180 like within the span of a year. because once WCW lost their key stars from cruiserweight division on down, they really didn't have a lot of other people, and they lost a lot of viewership as a result of that. Even before Russo came in the first time in '99, Russo booked that thing into the ground in the first, so bad to the point where Bam Bam Bigelow got counted out of Anywhere. That was the thing. For those who don't know, Brian and Vinny will tell you. That's a unanimous, even if I don't like the prick. Just bafflingly stupid.
That needs to be a retro someday.
Yes. The time where Bam Bam Bigelow was counting out of Anywhere. He's not anywhere. He was nowhere. Well, my presumption, Vinny, is that he was somewhere. No, because somewhere would be anywhere.
But yeah, so WWF is just really thriving. I think ECW is doing okay. I think it's just dying mainly because obviously the budget.
Yeah. Like okay. Well, let's talk about this because 98 was their hot period. 99 they started losing all their big stars. They did.
Yeah.
Taz was gone. The Dudleys were gone. The Dudleys by this point were fucking icons of the tag division, the Triangle TLCs, fucking multi-time tag team champions even at that point in the WWF. And Taz, well, he did stuff. But
that's the only probably gripe you have about WWF in the 2000s.
Yeah, really. It's just how they used Taz. Everybody else except Taz was used because fuck Taz for some reason. But yeah, legitimately, like they had nobody after Taz, and like Mike Awesome also left. Mike Awesome's on the show.
Yeah, he's on the show.
Oh man.
We'll get to him.
Oh man. Oh man.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
You know what's
what a different.
We'll talk about it because I wasn't expecting to like Awesome's delivery. We'll get there because he shouldn't have made that work. I don't know. It's fucking weird that the Fat Trick Driller was more over than the fucking 70s guy, by the way. I can't wait to talk about that. Yeah, there's a lot I have to say about this fucking weird-ass show. But
we'll get there, yeah.
Fucking, like... So he left ECW. Like, ECW, literally, they had the best booking out of all three companies by far. Quite frankly, without bar none. They were just so fucking unlucky every time. And people think, like, okay, well, Heyman's a bad businessman. He got fucked on deals. He got fucked on the video game deal because Acclaimed are pieces of shit as a video game publisher. He got fucked by TNN, who favored the WWF and literally used ECW as a scapegoat to test out wrestling on their programming. How meta is that they actually booked a storyline around that too? And
that's insane.
Yeah, and I think by this point, WWF had moved to TNN and ECW was off the air. Vince was basically the only thing keeping that afloat because he was actually paying Heyman because...
Which is insane.
Yeah, like
Vince actually
wanted ECW to survive. Like, he liked what they were doing because it was a developmental territory, unofficially.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't anybody that he was willing to use, you know, he would essentially send them down to ECW. That's why Bam Bam Bigelow had a hell of a run there. Why Candido had a hell of a run there. You know, they'd send like whatever time they had left on their contract, and they didn't have anything for them on TV. They'd just send them down to ECW, and then they were great. You know, I
just can't believe to this day. Like, a lot of people mention these weird facts about Vince, and I've heard some of them. The weirdest fact to me was that he actually liked ECW. That will always be the weirdest Vince fact to me. So you wouldn't think that would be a product he would be. Behind,
well, he liked the ECW until he didn't. Let's be very clear on that. We saw how 06 ended.
There's a reason there's a video about booking that. So.
There's a reason. There's many videos of me rebooking that. So yeah, like 2000s was weird. Pretty much.
Yeah.
There was still 3 companies, so there was plenty of places to work. But that was going to change, and everybody knew it, even if they didn't want to admit it deep down. WWF is essentially the only game in town. if you really wanted to make real money. Because by that point, they had gone public in 99. They were firing on all cylinders. They could guarantee contracts without any goddamn problem because they were a publicly traded company. WWF New York was booming. Fucking everything was booming. There was nothing that wasn't booming. Like, it was the place to be. It was a pop culture phenomenon, the WWF. WCW was the complete opposite. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was just...
Holy shit.
It was sinking, and it was sinking, like, fast. Like, a lot of people are saying nowadays that AEW's... Oh, it's sinking. It's going downhill. Then you look at WCW 2000 and come back and talk to me about AEW.
Exactly. Like, as bad as AEW is, so much so to the point I'm not even watching this shit anymore. Nothing will be as bad as WCW in the 2000s. Nothing.
Yeah,
it was
bad creative,
fucking train wreck.
Bad creative. I didn't even realize this. This show was not long after they put the belt on David Arquette, which is insane. So it was going downhill even more faster.
The belt had changed hands like multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, they did this thing where Vince Russo was there, and then then he took a break. So then which is going to carry into the story of what we tell, that Eric Bischoff was brought back, and Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo were both co-creators, and then the leader of like the TNT like network was like the deciding factor. I forget his name off the top of my head. So
the leader of the TNT network. Oh, the leader of TNT network. Fucking Ted Turner. Yeah. I
don't think it was him. It was like some other guy. Like he was like the deciding factor.
Yeah. They fucking the guy that fucking pushed them out. Yeah. They WCW, by the way, common to popular belief, they would have died even if 2000 had the best ratings ever. If they had 98, 99 ratings, it wouldn't have mattered. They were fucked. They were fucked. There was no chance of WCW surviving. They wanted to kill it off dead. They hated wrestling because Bill Watts fucked it up because he was a racist piece of shit.
But so pretty much, just the creative is just a mess. This was after, like, I think they restarted, they did, like, the whole thing where they restarted the promotions, and then they still fucked it up. Like, WCW just died. Everybody wants out of the company, pretty much. This bullshit.
I'm surprised there's people that wanted to stay in the company, by the way.
Yeah. This is also, too, like, around the we're gonna, which is why this show's a thing. There's a bunch of bullshit going on with guys at the top like Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Scott Hall and everything that is just really bad. Like, I know you talk. That's why you're not watching AEW right now. Picture like with how AEW is right now, kicked up. You would have probably quit watching all wrestling even sooner. Like if you were
if I was watching, if I was a big fan of. If I was a big fan of wanting all the companies to succeed, like that was my mindset, then I would have been dead. Like my fandom would have died because it's just like how can you not do this like the WWF and then no.
But that's
which probably would have ruined my enjoyment of what the WWF was doing, which it shouldn't really. But yeah, it's just fucking fuck.
Also, when it comes down to New Japan and AAA, because they're going around, obviously New Japan is still doing relatively well, but they don't have that main...
Yeah, AAA was really benefiting. So was WCW, quite frankly, with the partnership with WCW, even in the 2000s. So when those companies were dead, like, those companies took a big fucking hit. That was their fucking, essentially, American cash cow, and they were dead,
But yeah, going through this show, let me just look up the buy rates and stuff real quick because I didn't have the Wikipedia page up. So yeah, this show took place on July 9th, 2000. It took place at Daytona Beach, Florida. The venue was the Ocean Center. The attendance was 6,572 people. That doesn't sound like the greatest attendance figures.
Well, considering the fact that they had like 12,000 when Hulk Hogan originally turned heel at this fucking very event in the same building,
Yeah, let's see what that one did.
That did a lot better, I can tell you, because they tarped off half the arena.
Yeah, that one had 18,300 people in the
Yeah,
in the,
like
in the so.
their attendance was dead in the water. Like, they were hemorrhaging money by this point. And by the way, like, it's fucking funny that they go to Daytona Beach. I guarantee you, because when Hogan first debuted Bash at the Beach '94, him and Flair, and that they had a stadium sellout. I'm almost convinced if WCW didn't stray away from the path and actually stuck with the split of the NWO and like kept that riding and actually booked the Wolfpack better than they did, there would have been a great fucking chance that they could have sold out like at least part of the Daytona 500. They realistically could have done that because they had by this point, a lot of people forget, they had a motorsports team. Like, Bischoff, for all the flack he gets, he was such a weird but innovative mind on how to cross-promote with wrestling. Nobody did it like Bischoff. Like, you could tell me he's the worst at everything else. The one thing he was always good at was getting those cross-promotion deals. Like, he got it with NASCAR, he got it with MMA, he got it with NFL. He is the sole reason why Mongo McMichael, whether you love him or hate him, was even in WCW in the first place. Same with Kevin Green and all that shit.
The biggest one I remember
is fucking Kiss too.
The biggest one I remember, just because too, if you remember, I think it was Clash of the Champions, one of the ones in '97. Remember, Ditto in a movie makes an appearance, and it's like the best thing of the whole show.
Yes, and there was no reason it should have been the best fucking part of the show. But then the fucking hosts of the show just rip off their shirt, showing that they're with the NWO, and then fucking Paige actually gives a dude a diamond cutter, and the dude takes a bump for the spot.
Right? Yeah.
Like Bischoff, man. For all the flack he gets, he has some hit and misses. He does. Yep. But without him, you don't get Karl Malone. You don't get Dennis You don't get Dennis Rodman. You don't get Jared Leto for how bad. Even if that was a fucking train wreck, you don't get Kiss performing on fucking Nitro in the final closing segment of the show. You don't get the NASCAR deal and the motorsports deal in general. Like, there was so much shit that Bischoff did for that company.
So, also, too, it says the attendance is this much, but I'm pretty sure I've heard people say this about this show. Some of the attendance had to be paid to show up to this show. So, they might have not, the attendance, even though it's 600,572 people, I think some of them.
It definitely looked a lot. It definitely looked a lot more. At the very least, like 10,000. But they were. Yeah, it was bad.
There's no pay-per-view buy rate that the Wikipedia is showing here. We don't know what it is, so we don't know if it was good or not. It could have been great because this was Hogan's first match back in WCW in a while. So I assume a lot of people were probably buying it for Hogan and everything like that. Not knowing what was about to happen, which we'll get to that.
How could you be so tone deaf? Like, that's
we'll get to that.
That's the thing that will always boggle my mind, because you're right. They bought the pay-per-view for Hogan. They bought the pay-per-view because he made his debut and turned on the NWO in fucking Daytona Beach. Both fucking historic events in this company. What took place at this very location.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, God damn.
We'll get to that.
Woo!
Guess what the fucking tagline for this pay-per-view is? You won't believe what it is.
Oh, I'm ready for this. Go ahead, hit me.
Do you want to guess what? Do you want to take a guess at all? Because you're gonna laugh when you hear. I don't know how it.
Don't work yourself into a shoot and then shoot yourself into a work, brother. HH.
No. The tagline for this pay-per-view is "It ain't no picnic." That's the tagline for the pay-per-view. Is "It ain't no picnic." Do you want to wait till it? Do you want to get?
Wait. Hold on.
Do you want to wait till we get to that segment of probably why that was because that should have been a sign that what was going to happen. Like
What?
It ain't no
what else
picnic,
can
tagline.
What else can I say? What?
That's the.
I guess at least they were self-aware.
I guess that should have been a That should have been a message right there.
Even they knew this is shit. It ain't no pic. Oh my goodness gracious, fucking piece of shit out of my ass.
That might be like the most fitting tag. That might be the most fitting tagline to a pay-per-view I think I've ever read in my life.
Dude,
like,
that tagline gave me Tourette's.
What
the fuck?
Let's just start breaking down this pay-per-view. This is probably gonna be
let's go.
So the commentary team was Scott Hudson, Tony Schiavone, and Mark Madden. No one's really all that good on commentary. Schiavone tries.
Okay, no, don't you dare fucking disrespect Scott Hudson. He was great all night. Scott Hudson was good.
Mark Madden was not, though.
No. Not even.
And Tony
no, there was a point where he was. We'll get to that match where I think he was good, actually. But.
And Tony Schiavone was just done at this point. You could just tell, especially once the Hogan things happened, you could just tell he's done at this point. Like, he doesn't want to be there anymore. Like,
dude, what a, like, honestly, like, it's just, honestly, like, I'll get to it when we get there, but yeah, Schiavone just looks like he wants to legitimately strangle Mark Madden. And he doesn't even give time of day to Scott Hudson. He's just like, you're not Bobby Heenan.
Also, yeah, like, again, I will just say this, thank God for AEW, because, like, this would have been Schiavone's last legacy, really, in, like, in a big wrestling promotion. Thank God for AEW.
Thank God for the, only for that, if there's nothing else, they gave Tony Schiavone a better out, with a better legacy to leave behind behind the booth.
I mean, there's still a lot of time left in his career, though, so we can't say that yet, so.
I mean, but he's having a good time. That's all
you
that
can
matters. At least he's having a good time and not this bullshit.
Yeah. I will say this. I'll give one comment. Good to stick with the theme with Bash at the Beach. You know, the set was fairly good. You know, it looked like it was at a beach. The commentators were wearing Hawaiian shirts, very beach themed and everything like that. So that was good. You know,
I will say, I miss the custom sets, and I hate
same.
that everything has to be the fucking. What do they call it? The Nitro Vision? It wasn't even the Titantron, right? It was the Nitro Vision they called it.
Yeah, they called it the Nitro.
Yeah,
Vision, yes.
well, yeah. So the big Tron fucking look was, fuck that. Like, give me something different. WCW actually innovated the custom stage design, which WWE would later take and actually like improve upon drastically, and then WCW regressed and they're like, fuck it, nobody cares anymore.
So, the first thing you see on the show is Commissioner Ernest the Cat Miller arrives, and he arrives in his limousine. He tells the driver, who I don't even know what his connection is when it comes to like being a booker, but he says, "Yeah, go tell the animals and what's the name of the faction that Lieutenant Loco is in?" Men on a Mission. Men on a Mission.
Yes.
Go tell them that they're banned from ringside during the WCW Cruiserweight title match. You can barely even hear what he's saying, by the way. He's not mic'd up very well. You could say, well, it's 2000, but no, I've heard better mic work in the WWF and even in ECW in 2000, so it could be any of that shit.
Yeah.
But you could like barely hear what he's saying. And then all of a sudden this like ninja music starts playing. And he's like, what the hell is that music? I didn't like that there was self-awareness there. And then these three like ninjas show up. And apparently this is an angle they started on Thunder that obviously they didn't really do a good job explaining what was going on if you never like watched, they Go Home Weeks or anything like. But apparently they show up. They're looking to like make a name for themselves. So they try to take out the commissioner. It's 3-on-1, so obviously gets outnumbered in the beginning. But eventually Ernest the Cat Miller fights back. He knocks them all to the ground and it says, I'm too old for any of this shit and all that type of stuff, and just walks away. And this was so funny because there's a crowd out there. This crowd could have cared less about what was going on. They
which is the fucking weirdest part, because as little of a crowd this was, they were hot for everything except the beginning segment here.
Yeah, it was so weird. Because if this
Why
happened,
not make noise? Like, have some cue cards or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, this segment was this was not good. This was not a good way to kick off your pay-per-view. I thought this was pretty bad. What do you think of this? This was just not good.
This is fucked up, man. All of this was just, I don't even know why, where, when, and how. This is just typical Russo booking where he just does shit to do shit and it's not explained. This is literally like late era Saturday Night Live. This is what it is. Like,
yeah, it's really
it's
bad.
not great. Like, okay, I'll compare this to a segment to one of another summer retro we did, Heatwave '98, when we did that.
Yeah.
The fucking New Jack segment, dude, the fans were hot for everything that was going on.
Oh, it was awesome, yeah.
It was phenomenal. This is the opposite of that. Lukewarm, nobody gives a shit. And then that opens the show. That opens Pandora's box here. You know? And that's what you're walking into. So.
I mean, people were gonna get ripped off whether this segment was good anyways, but people were paying for this segment, like probably what, $50 for this segment probably at the time.
Maybe $39.95 if you adjust for inflation, at least. Yeah,
that's true,
$50. Yeah.
Then it shows an intro. It has a nice little intro showing the matches that are going to happen. You know, the WCW title match, the Nash Goldberg match. Not the greatest intro. I thought WCW have done better, but they've also done worse. You know, it's just an intro.
I will say, as fucking scrappy and bullshit as the intro is, at least they're better, because WCW, even during their heyday, always sucked at the promo packages.
Yes, they did. Yeah,
they were.
I think a lot of people will say it's 2000. You can't be too critical of the promo packages and stuff, you know. But I feel like, I mean, WWF was doing, and even ECW were doing great video packages. So,
dude, Heyman popularized how to do a promo package,
and he didn't even have a lot of production. Like,
dude, he did those promo packages by himself and did the voiceover work in a goddamn basement in New York, probably in Studio 51 in the doldrums, you know. And here we are, like,
yo,
just
nothing. So we had the first match on the show. It was a cruiserweight championship match. Cruiserweight champion Lieutenant Loco defending the belt against Juventud Guerrera. The reason for this match was
the Juicer, apparently, is what they were calling him nickname-wise, yeah.
But yeah, apparently the reason for this match was Juventud Guerrera stole the Cruiserweight Championship from Lieutenant Loco. So obviously Lieutenant Loco was continuously trying to fight to get his belt back, but he was never successful. So obviously he had to put the belt up on the line to eventually get a title match. This was kind of at this time where, you know, they were doing, Men on a Mission and Filthy Animals. Filthy Animals were heel. There's a reason Rey Mysterio Jr. has never been a heel again, because he's not good as a heel, and he knew that too.
Yep.
But yeah, before the match starts, the Filthy Animals come out. Conan is doing a really good rap, and this is where they're doing like the whole Disco Inferno being in the group.
Yeah,
and
which is weird because I think at this point he wasn't disco, right? He was Hip Hop Inferno.
Yeah, he was Hip Hop Inferno. So.
Which is weird, because you actually take the disco gimmick out, he's not bad. Like,
yeah,
he looks good. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, Glenn actually looked like a star here.
Yeah, he did.
Especially alongside with Conan and the rest. Like, I don't know how the fuck this guy fit in. But he did.
Yeah.
He fit in like a fucking glove, and I was actually surprised.
The the whole gimmick was Conan would say something, and then Hip Hop Inferno would repeat it, but it's like not cool. But that was like the joke type.
That
of
was
thing,
the joke,
so
yeah. Like he was the white guy in a group full of fucking beaners, essentially.
Yeah, it was.
And it was great. It shouldn't have been, but it was great. And yeah. Oh, at one point, fucking Tigress, right? That's the fucking valet who Rey Mysterio always is horned up for. Like. He goes to Tigress, is like, Tigress, start kneeling down for me, and then she starts, and then he's like, that's enough.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I love that.
So before the match starts, referees come out and they send both members' factions to the back because they're not allowed to be out there and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
The match starts. Guerrera and Loco have a really good exchange. They do some really nice chain grapples and everything like that. Really good dives and everything like that.
If I may interrupt as well, while they have a great exchange, can you tell we're in the Vince Russo era? Because Tony Schiavone says like sports entertainment about 18 times.
Yep. Which I think
just probably, over and over and over and over.
Which pisses off, I think, which is probably pissing off Ted Turner because Vince McMahon tells the story every time he's on a podcast. He always mentions, Ted Turner always calls and says, I'm in the wrestling business. Vince says, well, I'm not in the wrestling business. I'm in the sports entertainment business. Can you imagine how pissed Ted Turner is that he keeps saying sports entertainment over and over?
Yeah,
again?
right.
So,
yeah.
But anyhow, so the match starts. Yeah, really great exchanges. There was some really cool dives in the match. A really nice head scissors by Loco. I thought that was good. And then, Humberto Guerrero hits a really good clothesline outside the ring, and then he does. This was messed up, but I still thought he made it look good enough. He does like a dive, and I think he was supposed to do like a double stop or a splash, but it didn't happen. He just did like a kind of a hip attack on the outside, like onto like the ribs, knees of Lieutenant Loco, and so it didn't look the greatest. But I still thought that he recovered it well enough.
Yeah.
And then doing this, the filthy animals make their way out to the ring, and they try to disguise themselves by putting masks on and everything like that.
What was the funniest bit about this is, by the way, like, okay, so Hip Hop Inferno comes out, and he's in a Lakers jersey and shit. Uh-oh. Hello? Uh-oh. I might have to pause. Hold on. Give me un moment. Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, so Hip Hop Inferno, he's coming out in, like, Lakers colors, right? He's coming out in Lakers shit. And he's got this mask to try to disguise himself, and it's awful. It's just terrible. Like, nobody bought it. The referees sent him to the back again, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I thought we were going to get interference. I thought I was going to hate this. I actually thought I was going to hate this. This was funny. I don't know why, but it added to the fucking fuckery of the match. By the way, as they're getting sent back to the fucking back, Chavo fucking dies because Hoovy just fucking slingshot leg drops Loco right across his throat, and I swear he died. I thought he was paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. How do you even do something like that and make it look safe? Like,
I did like, by the way, too, while the filthy animals were out there, I think it's Mark Madden is just like, that's not the filthy animals. That's somebody in disguise as filthy animals. They're just wearing filthy animal masks. I thought that was hilarious. And then I'll just say this little bit later on when Men on a Mission try to do the same thing. It's just like, come on, why are they doing this for? Like, really healing it up. That was funny. That was good. That was good shit.
yeah.
But yeah, continuing.
No, they're not Men on a Mission. They're MIA. I don't know what the A stands for.
Okay, the Men on something. So, are they not that either?
The Men on something. No, just go on. Just called them MIA, but that was hilarious.
Oh, no,
the men on something.
I will get.
No.
Right,
Keep it. I like Men on something. It's great.
All right. But anyhow, yeah. So this allows Hoovy to take over. Like I said, he does that spot he mentioned to Loco in the corner. He does a really good corkscrew senton onto Loco, but Loco kicks out of it. He throws him into the barricade a few times. He does a moonsault off of the barricade, which was cool. And then eventually, Men on something, try to run interference. They come out to the crowd wearing masks. They're wearing Bill Clinton masks and like other presidential like figures and people in office, but this backfires royally. So this allows Lieutenant Loco to take control. He hits a low blow and hits a roll up, but Guerrero kicks out. Guerrero hits a really nice Michinoku driver onto Loco, which looks really good. But
yeah,
Loco
I think that
that
might have been his own Hoovy driver because he crossed the legs for it.
Yeah. Loco hits a really nice brain buster, and then he goes for a frog splash, but he misses. And then eventually the finish is Loco gets a roll up. They both exchange roll ups, and eventually Loco wins with his version of a roll up. And Loco retains the cruiserweight title.
You're missing a big point of this match though, because before that, while it originally failed the first time, the when MIA came out with the masks, here comes Major Guns to basically just do her thing and just show her tits, basically to distract Hoovy, which then causes a little bit of a thing, right, going on, but it backfires on Chavo, and then the ending sequence goes on. But he was distracted long enough for Chavo to hit the tornado DDT.
That was good, yeah.
And meanwhile, in case any other fuckery was going to go down, you actually had Major Guns was still at ringside, but she was crouching down so nobody could actually see her. I actually liked that. I don't know why. The match shouldn't have worked because it's so Russo-fied. You could tell. But it worked. It was a good match. Yeah. It was a hot open. And they had good comedy spots here and there sprinkled into a serious contest. Solid effort. I can't complain. I was surprised.
I mean, it's the one thing that WCW, no matter who books it's always been able to do well, was the cruiserweight division. I gave the match 3.25 stars. I thought it was pretty good stuff.
Yeah, really good open. The fucking crowd was hot for it too, man. Oh my god.
I hate to say this. This is probably the best match of the whole show, which isn't a good sign because it just goes downhill from here.
It does go downhill. Although there are bits of this show that aren't terrible. So
we'll get to that, yeah. So then, doing the career retrospectives. Hoovy Guerrero would continue his work in WCW. He'd be a part of the Invasion storyline, and then eventually, I think he went to the Indies for a little bit. Then he came back, and he was supposed to be a part of the Mexicools, but it just didn't happen that way.
He was a part of the Mexicools, and then it didn't happen that way. Let's just clear that up.
And he went back to the Indies. He worked for NWA TNA for a little bit. And then he just worked the Indies, and then eventually, I think the last thing he did was obviously when he wrestled Jericho in the Labels of Jericho thing, where he faced Jericho, where Jericho could only win by hitting a move from the top rope. So that's cool for Hoovy.
Yeah, good for him.
And then obviously the rest of the Filthy Animals, I think we've all done what career retrospectives for, because Rey Mysterio Jr. shows up SummerSlam 2002. Conan, I think we did it. TNA Unbreakable. Lieutenant Loco, we've done many times. I think we did. I think he shows up at Royal Rumble 08 is when we could go check that out. And then the woman, I don't know. I forgot to look up the woman, but the woman.
Major Guns? How do I say this without getting demonetized? Well, we're not monetized anyway, so fuck it. Spank Bank.
All right, then.
Yeah, she's a porn star. Always was. I think she's retired since. Russo, by the way, weird, because he always just got valets from all sorts of places. Wrestling, modeling, porn star industry. Like, it didn't matter to him. He just wanted hot women.
Yeah, everybody in Lieutenant Loco's faction, I think. Again, we've done Lieutenant Loco before. Huge erection would go on to become Bill DeMott. He would be he'd be pretty much not last long in the industry as a wrestler. He eventually just became a trainer for OVW and then eventually FCW and then the early stages of NXT. And then he was ousted, obviously, because we found out, he was not the best trainer. He was there was a bunch of shit that happened. He was very abusive to the students in more ways than one. So he was fired as the head coach and replaced with Matt Bloom. And then Yeah, I don't know. And then I think he's just chilling at home type of thing. I don't know what he's doing really right now. So,
Well,
um,
he was a raging boner to everybody. So there you go.
yeah. And what about the other people?
That's a
I
huge
forgot.
dick.
And then what about the other people? I forgot to look up the other people that were on this. Faction.
What fucking what? The filthy animals? Or
Yeah, there's one that does. The rest of the rest of the men on a mission. Because filthy animals is
yes,
way.
oh no, MIA was filthy animals. You did.
Yeah.
And then the rest of yeah, I don't fucking know.
Oh no,
I
no,
don't
see
want
this.
to just do it quick. I guess I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
All right, hold on. Just give me a few minutes. It's gonna take me a little bit to find it because
Yeah, that's fair. I'll just hit the pause button.
Oh,
It would be. Oh,
no, I think I got you. So,
okay.
by the way, I found the name of the faction. It was the Misfits in action. I don't know how
The
I screwed that up.
Misfits in action. That's right. Yeah, because Booker T was originally GI Bro in that. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Major Stash shows up in this show, so we'll just look him up real quick.
I hate these names. Oh man, do I hate these names.
Hey, it's not worse than the Retribution names. So.
Lieutenant Loco's the only good name.
He just basically did indies later in his career. Apparently in 2020 he had to deal with a legal issue. He was charged with like a DUI and all that type of stuff, so that's not good.
Fair enough.
He lost his license and pleaded guilty, and he has so it's not good.
Well, I mean, he's probably free by now. He's probably just not wrestling anymore. He actually was smart.
Those all happened in 2020. So, and then Major Guns. After WCW, she was in Extreme Championship Extreme Pro Wrestling, and then Double Team Wrestling, and then she was in a controversial wrestling documentary called 101 Reasons Not to Be a Pro Wrestler that came out in like 2004. And then, it says, as of December 2005, she has left professional wrestling and is now performing in adult films for Seymour Butts Lighthouse Talent Agency under the name Brandy Wild. She is also a cam girl on the site MyFree. She's also a cam girl on the site myfreecams.com.
Holy shit! That is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no way. There's actually a company named Seymour Butts that does porn,
it is.
Dude. That's unbelievable.
I think Laszlo Lux shows up on this show.
Holy shit! Wow.
He was part of the invasion angle, but then he was quickly released for no reason. And then he just did the indies later in his career. He's retired now. He works as a cartoonist and has also been featured in multiple publications and websites, including Pro Wrestling Illustrated and The Wrestler. During his WCW tenure, and then after he retired...
Oh, I remember him in The Wrestler. Yeah.
And now he's a pastor now. After retiring, so that's good for him.
Wow. Wow,
yeah, good for him.
What was his name? What was his name in the freaking wrestling show?
Captain K. June. I think he shows up on this
Captain
show.
Cajun.
No, that's his real name. That's not his real name. But Laszlo Rocks, I think, was his name in the fact.
Yeah, but Laszlo Rocks. Okay, wait. Why was he Laszlo Roo?
I don't know.
He wasn't Captain Cajun?
No, he was Captain Cajun then. I can't tell because you can't tell the real names from the shoot names type of thing. Because...
Yeah, Russo didn't do. Oh, well, at least he didn't give him a fucking. At least he didn't give him General Huge Erection, right?
But yeah, I think that's everybody that was in this faction that made an appearance on this show. So, yeah.
Yay.
After all that bullshit, did you ever give your star rating for this match? Because I went 3 1/4.
I went 3 1/4. Yeah, it was a very hot open. And the crowd was hot.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Before we continue to talk about the show, I also forgot to break down the interviewers and stuff like that. The interviewers were Gene Okerlund and Pamela Paulshock, but I think she only shows up for one interview, particularly on this show. Gene Okerlund, we've done career retrospectives before. I forgot to look up a career retrospective for Pamela, but I assume we'll see her again at some point when we do a WCW retro. So,
Yep.
the referees were Mickey J, Mark Johnson, Charles Robertson, Billy Silverman, and Jamie Tucker. I believe we probably did the retro because they all show up and they've all in WCW while. So we probably did the career retrospectives for these referees when we did Halloween Havoc '97.
Actually, no, because I think some of them are new. I know we did one for Slick Johnson, who made an appearance on the show.
Yeah, Mikey J, after he was a referee in WWE after a while, and he's since passed. Oh, he died of COVID actually.
Shit.
Yeah, he died of COVID. And he died last year actually, February 14th. He died on Valentine's Day last year at 59 of COVID. So
Did he have a wife? I hope he didn't die alone.
it doesn't say. It just says he says so I don't know.
Oof. That'd suck if you die of COVID on Valentine's Day and you died alone, man.
Yeah.
That's a shitty hand.
I think we've done a career retrospective on Mark Johnson because
Mark Johnson. Is Mark Johnson Slick Johnson? Or is that his brother or what?
Yeah, it's Slick Johnson. It is Slick Johnson.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, so
Charles Robinson.
Charles Robinson, we done.
Billy Silverman. Just says he went to WWF when the Alliance angle happened after WCW closed, and then that's it. He hasn't really done much since then. He retired pretty much after WWF. He went to WWF. So
and he also is started his new venture of collecting silver.
There you go.
So
he was also
Silverman.
And then we can't. There's no Wikipedia page or anything on Jamie Tucker, so I don't know. So we can't do anything about that.
Jamie Tucker was Jamie Tucker. He doing Jamie Tucker things.
Whatever that is. And then the ring announcers for this show: Michael Buffer ring announces 2 matches. Yeah, 2 matches, and then David Pencer ring announces the other matches. We've done career retrospective on both these guys before, so we don't need to do that.
Yes.
All right, back to the actual pay-per-view now. So I'm usually more prepared when it comes to this stuff, but I always forget when it comes to seconds and all that type of stuff. Because I didn't write down the names of the people in these factions because they were supposed to be banned from ringside. I didn't expect they were going to show up again and all that type of stuff. So
yep, shocker, right? Yeah, that's Vince Russo for you. Although again, it worked at least.
So it swerved me.
Yeah, he always swerves. That's the gimmick: is swerve, and all the swerve.
But next, we have a backstage segment. Commissioner Cat and the Ninjas. It's not the Ninjas. I thought they were Ninjas, but it's the Young Lions or whoever they were on this show.
The Young Lions, the Young Dragons, the Young something.
Yeah. They're backstage, and Ernest the Cat Miller says that he appreciates their chutzpah. He appreciates, the grit and all that type of stuff. He doesn't say chutzpah. That was my word. So
I know, but holy shit. Like, dude, you know, people have said, by the way, it's like, I'm surprised no one's not Jewish. That they're gonna get so confused. I was like, I knew he was Jewish. I knew it.
Well, if I become Jewish, then I would most likely see an X again. So I don't want to do that. So
yeah, that is true. I mean, at least you'd have the chutzpah.
Then I'd lose it right after that. So
that's true. Yeah.
But anyhow, so probably not the week to bring that up. But anyhow,
yeah, you're fine.
But so he appreciates what they were trying to do, trying to get jobs and everything like that. And he says that the job is over. You guys are done. But they mistake what he thinks. They think that because they don't speak good English. Yeah, they think Ernest the Cat Miller's offering them a job, and he's trying to tell him no job, and he's like, no job. So and
then they go, yeah.
They take this. They think obviously because there's a term in the wrestling industry where
yeah, you're good.
So there's a term in the wrestling industry where you do jobs where you put people over and all that type of stuff. So I think that was the joke, or
they were just looking for jobs. It could have worked either way, at least. Yeah. So they go jobs. Yeah, and they're like, no job, and then fucking Jeff Jarrett comes in,
Yeah, this is so long. He comes in, and apparently Hulk Hogan, they're doing a big storyline where he hasn't shown up yet. Who even knows if it was a storyline now that you watch the show?
Fucking know anymore. So okay,
but he comes up and he says that he wants Hogan to be there, type of thing. You know,
I can tell you for a fact that this is a work. How could you tell it's a work? Because they planned the whole show around Hulk Hogan. Is he going to show up? And they also have a fucking opera singer, fat lady, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Coming
which doesn't get used on the show because of Russo.
Dude, he
yeah,
comes with him. She's with him, right? If you did not watch Thunder or you did not watch... This is where I start shitting on Russo. If you did not watch Thunder and you did not watch Nitro, you have no idea why this lady's with him.
Yeah.
You would have thought...
Job telling you.
You would have thought he was the fat chick thriller. I thought he liked Deborah. Apparently he likes them plus size now. Right? So she comes in with him and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? He's just talking about, and by the way, he's so horribly mic'd this whole segment, right? But even Jarrett was especially bad because I had to like really lean into what he was saying because it sounded like he was coming from a tin can in the fucking ocean.
And again, people are probably going to say it's 2000. You can't be too critical when it comes to technology, but I don't think it's the case here. Like, this is bad.
Dude, ECW's doing it better than you. You're doing it wrong. Like, sorry. So, yeah, he talking about, like, if Hulk Hogan, he's not coming here, and I'm not leaving here until the fat lady sings, because I'm going to beat him tonight, so you better get him on the phone, and he better be defending that title, or else it's going to be your ass tonight, Ernest. And then he fucking leaves.
Yup.
And then friggin' Ernest Miller is like, shit, now I got this to worry about, whatever.
Yeah, but this was just this was not a good backstage segment, by the way. You would be so confused if you didn't watch Thunder or Nitro.
It started good because it was stupid and it was funny at least, even though it was supremely racist. But then it just goes into the territory of like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there a fat lady with Jarrett? And why does she have a Viking helmet of all things? Like, yeah, you're just left with more questions than answers, especially if you didn't watch the go home shows.
Which is really weird that Vince Russo booked this in the sense that he just recently went on Chris Van Vliet, did like a big interview where he talked about how when he booked wrestling, he always booked for the casual fans. He would always try to make sure he would clue into what's going on. What happened this show, buddy? Then you didn't clue anybody what's going on here. Like.
That's rich. Wow. Yeah. You really cared about the casual fans so much so that you were gonna do a shoot work angle. Yeah, okay, bud.
Yeah.
That you turned into a shoot later on, by the way. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, then the show starts to go downhill a little bit. Next match is a WCW Hardcore World Championship match.
Okay, it's one thing I will say that's positive before you even get to who's a part of this match. Vito's actually really good on the fucking mic.
He is.
Like, damn it, man. Like, there are people that Russo were pushing that had so much potential, and if he'd have just kept past his own bullshit, this guy could have been a star.
Yeah,
he could have been
pretty good.
He was actually really good, and he's a good wrestler. He's a good hand, and he could definitely cut a hell of a promo. At the very least, solid mid-carder. Definitely can have him as your mid-card champion, television champion, whatever you want, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He's the hardcore champion here. He's cutting a promo. He's doing a gabagoo, fucking spiel. Like, now we got a down-here champion that y'all could be proud of,
Yeah,
like
good stuff.
The whole spiel, and he's... The thing that which is the fucked up part, right, is he's getting cheered. And he's supposed to be the heel, right?
Yep.
And then out comes Norman Smiley and Ralphus. By the way, the match is going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match. Because it's an open challenge for Vito.
Yeah, the reason it's it's a reason it's an open challenge is because he was supposed to face Terry Funk, but Vito took out Terry Funk on the Go Home episode of Thunder, so Terry Funk was unable to compete. He couldn't compete
I think Terry Funk wanted out. That's what it sounds like to me.
But in kayfabe, Terry Funk couldn't compete because he got hit in the head with like a nightstick or whatever. When this guy's been like falling off balconies.
What was it? The fucking what do you call it? What did he call it? The stick bat? It was a stick bat,
the
right?
stick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was
Who
a
gets
very.
hit with
He's very Italian. Can you tell he's Italian? You couldn't tell with the stick bat he had.
But yeah, so Big Vito calls out an open challenge, and Norman Smiley returns. This was his first appearance in a while. I don't know where he was. He just wasn't there. And then, they didn't tell you why he wasn't there. He was just not there.
He wasn't there.
He was returning from something, and then he comes out with Ralphus, and Big Vito, for some fucking strange reason, just decides, okay, we're just gonna make this a 2-on-1 handicap match. The heel's asking for a 2-on-1 handicap match. It doesn't even make any sense. It's supposed to be. It does not work that way. So
why are you doing that? And at first I'm like, this is dumb, right? Why is the heel saying he's taking on all comers? And then the match happens. I'm like, oh, that's why. Oh, okay. He's kind of a dick. Oh, this actually was good storytelling. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, I don't think so, because he just booked himself into a corner. He booked himself where he could potentially get beaten the shit out of and all that.
Yes, but if you're Vito, right, you are so confident that you could beat two men against one, right, that he has a plan already in place. So he's showing that he's got the brain, right? He's got the brains as well as the brawn, because as we'll just start. By the way, I will say, as much as I hate WCW hardcore matches, this was at least tolerable for me. I wouldn't say it's good, but at least they booked themselves out of it. We'll get to it as you break down the spots here, but
so the match starts. They accept, I guess. It gets made official. I don't know. I don't know who made this official. They just decided, hey, it's a 2-on-1 handicap match now. So
and WCW Hardcore Championship rules is you have to start in the backstage. By the way.
So what's the point of doing the entrances? Why not just start backstage?
I don't know. It's Vince Russo. That's the one thing that doesn't make sense out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
At least the rest of it did. You gotta take the wins when you can get them.
This is one of those things where I would have hated to be at this match live, because you have to look at the screen the whole time, and it's like, okay, why are you doing this? Like,
well, you have to look at the screen for half the time on this one, at least.
Yeah, but they go backstage. They just Big Vito just destroys Ralphus. He just gets busted open right away. So there you go. And then him and Norman Smiley brawl to the back. Norman Smiley grabs like a trash can lid and just starts hitting Vito with it. He throws him into a forklift, and not Norman Smiley, Ralphus comes up and he starts destroying him with a trash can. He grabs a trash can lid and he hits him with it, and then he just stops. He's like blocking, like Vito's gonna go for a move, and this happens for like a good minute or so, and then Vito just punches him like he wasn't even going for a strike.
You can tell this is. I actually fucking busted a gut laughing because you could tell, dude. Ralphus has never done a wrestling match in his life, bro. Okay, so at one point, right? This fucking guy, he takes a trash can lid and he just starts like he's a fucking like one of those wind up toys. He's just like bonk, bonk with the trash can lid.
It's so bad.
And then he just keeps doing it, and then he's like trying to get in position spot with a fucking punch from Vito, and he finally does, and then Vito just takes the opportunity and just clocks the fucking poor guy. Yeah, he just absolutely potatoes him, and then he can't even go down until the final spot. You can tell his knees are shot because we mentioned, by the way, Ralphus is an untrained pro wrestler. He's a truck driver, right? So he just kind of hangs out and then doesn't do anything. And so
then,
after he takes out Ralphus, who's an old decrepit man, Vito brings him towards the elevator, essentially.
Yeah, he brings he brings Norman Smiley towards the elevator. They fight towards the elevator, and then the elevator turns on, and Norman Smiley's stuck in the elevator. He goes down like a bunch of floors, so now it's just down to Big Vito versus Ralphus. And then we get told the match doesn't start until they get to the ring. So when does Ralphus decide to run? He runs towards the ring. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, again,
at least he's an untrained wrestler, so I can at least excuse the fact he doesn't know the rules. So, yeah, this is where I say, that's why you took the match. Because Ralphus is untrained, and all he has to do is get rid of the untrained guy somehow, or the trained guy somehow, some way. He could easily dispose of Ralphus, which he did, essentially, and then he could put him in the fucking elevator. That's exactly what he did, or whatever trap he decided to put him in. And then...
yeah, Big Vito and him fight. They fight towards the ring. Big Vito hits him with a kendo stick. He grabs a table, which breaks. One of the legs of the table breaks, so Vito has to improvise. He does a splash of Ralphus through the table. Vito pins Ralphus. And Norman Smiley comes out, just casually walking out of the trash can, and he totally could have made that crate count if he just rushed a little bit, but he didn't have a sense of urgency to go break up that count, so the match just ends, and he just
that was like he looked like a goober here. Like, I will say, like, so the beginning of the match is stupid, and then the ending of the match is stupid. If you take away all that, they actually booked themselves pretty well out of a corner here. Which is stupid. It's stupid that like, why book yourself there to begin with? But at least they actually, like, made it work.
I gave it, like, 1 star. I didn't like this at all.
The match sucked, but I at least tolerated that, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I thought I was going to rate this, like, -1, but I'm like, nah, there's redeeming qualities there, so, like, I'll give it a 1 and then call it a day, because all it really was, like, other than the story they told with this match, it's just useless weapon shots.
I mean, you have to understand, too, this was the first time I've seen, like, the WCW Hardcore title ever defended. I didn't even know, like, the fucking bullshit rules around it, so I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? So I'm getting the reaction of these rules, like, in real time and all that type of stuff, so I'm just getting pissed the more I see this and all that type of stuff.
It was pretty fucked up. It was bad. Yeah.
So then next, Kevin Nash gets interviewed, and he talks about facing Goldberg for Scott Hall's contract. And Kevin Nash, he did not want to be there. This was worse.
He did not care at all.
This was like worse than like when he was Chet Lemon calling the TNA episode when the main event.
Chet Lemon actually tried. Kevin Nash here, man, like just.
He was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to do everything I can for my friend Scott Steiner. I'm gonna try, like
he was told to be monotone as possible, like you're deep in thought, and Kevin Nash took that as okay, so I don't have to try. Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he did not care at all.
He was given the assignment to look somber, and he looked like he wanted to go to the bar after. Like, that's it. That's all he cared about. He wanted the mama hoochies and the beer, and that's all he cared about. He wanted to go drinking with the boys after. Like, he couldn't give a shit about the segment. He's just like,
I'll give this like this. I'll give this like a thumb to the middle, slightly pointing down, just because sometimes Kevin Nash not giving a shit's like entertaining, high quality.
It's the funniest shit. It's the funniest shit. He just comes in, Mean Gene, in like full Mean Gene mode, always professional, always busting his ass, always trying to make something out of anything, right? And Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash. He just goes and he's just like, well, there's been a lot that's happened here in WCW. Scott and I have been here since the beginning of WCW's rise, and it's really sad that it's really had to come down to this. Bill Goldberg, I'm his only real defeat. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, have some pride. Have some pride, bro. You're his only real defeat, and that's how you say it? What the fuck? and then the wildest shit, right? And this fucking, I'm like, okay, well, he's sounding somber. You could say he's not giving a shit, but he's sounding somber. He looks somber. He looks like he's deep in thought. And then he goes, see you there, Billy boy. And then he makes a stupid face at the camera, and I'm like, and it's gone. It's gone. Like, send me Jesus, like, a very serious Kevin Nash. Gentlemen, back to you. I'm like, no, Mean Gene. I love you, man, but there's no way you're gonna convince me that he was being at all serious throughout any of that after he made that face and called him Billy Boy. Billy Boy.
Kevin Nash was just done. He was checked out by this point.
Holy shit, bro. He was there to collect a paycheck, and boy did he. Boy did he.
Oh, then the pay-per-view gets even worse. The next match is a wedding gown match. It's Miss Hancock.
Oh yeah, this was shit. I will say, it was good comedy until the Russo shit happened.
Yeah, so the reason for this match was David Flair and Daphne apparently were a faction together with Crowbar, and David Flair and Daphne and kayfabe were engaged. And then the Miss Hancock was trying to seduce David Flair, and it looked like it did work. And then Russo'd it, and then it did work. That's the best way I can say that. That's what happened. So
yeah, you're not wrong.
So then Daphne said that she wanted to make Miss Hancock's life a living hell, and she said Miss Hancock said that the only way she would wrestle her if it was a wedding gown match for some reason. Yeah. I don't know how else to break down this feud.
It's such a stupid reason for a feud. It's like, I'm only gonna fight you if it's a wedding gown match and we can strip off our clothes. I don't care. Not no holds barred, you know. Not like a hair versus hair match. Not a mixed tag match. Nothing. It's wedding gown match. I want to strip you naked. Okay.
All right, let's not talk about the match. So yeah, we have the wedding gown match. Yeah, it's it's a wedding gown. It's a wedding gown match. I'm trying to remember who was on commentary that was lusting over the lady.
It was. We know who it was. It was Mark Madden.
Yeah, and it was
annoying prick all night. Real quick, we'll get to Mark Madden in a second, but even at his lowest point right now, Shivani bust his ass on commentary to make any sense of this fucking match, right? Any goddamn sense of this.
Until the Hogan thing happens, he's just done after that.
Yes, yeah, he couldn't give a shit, right? So he is making sense of Daphne, of why this is a wedding gown match. And he says, why humiliate the girl further? Like, hadn't David and Miss Hancock done enough, right? Like,
right.
God damn. And then Scott Hudson, like, I think tries to have some back and forth with them because Mark Madden just wants to fuck Stacy Keibler. And Daphne, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Dude, Jerry Lawler, I never want to hear anybody give anybody shit to him ever again. Because holy shit, Mark Madden's like 10 times worse, and I never want to hear him speak for as long as I live.
I mean,
especially about women, especially about the female anatomy. I never want him as a doctor, because I would never bring. If I had a significant other, that's the last person I'm taking my person to get checked, to have their vagina checked. He'll be the one. He'd be the one, ironically, from the Family Guy clip to be like, "All right, let's take a look at that vagina." So
I'll say this when it comes to Lawler and Mark Madden. At least Lawler tries to call the match when there's a woman involved.
Yes.
He doesn't try a lot, but at least he gets the storyline over a lot, while Mark Madden doesn't do that. So
no. And at least there's a reason for Lawler to get. What a fucking phrase I'm about to say here. I can't even believe I'm saying it. At least they give a reason for Jerry Lawler to have an erection all the time. Not all the time. He tries to fucking be subdued when they're just being normal or having a
Yeah.
match. The minute they strip, then he bugs out, and then his eyes go wide, right? And then it made sense. Mark Madden's just like horny 24/7, 365 days a year.
He's supposed to be the heel commentator, by the way, and he's holding out for Daphne, who's the babyface. Who's the babyface? Like,
oh man, it just none of it made sense because Madden just kind of ruined it, and then
let's get to the match. Yeah, so the match starts.
happens.
David Flair brings out hair clippers. We'll find out those kind of come into play a little bit. Daphne and Miss Hancock go at it. They just do some really lousy strikes and really lousy lockups and everything like that. It's just really bad. David Flair's consistently interfering in the match because it's no DQ. So then eventually, Crowbar comes out to like even the odds and everything like that. At one point, actually, I forgot to mention this. The referee, for some reason, is holding back Miss Hancock's one of the competitors of the match, even though it's no DQ. I don't get it. And David Flair is holding back Daphne, the other competitor. She slaps David, and then Miss Hancock does the same thing. And then, Daphne takes off David Flair's pants, and then Miss Hancock takes off the referee's pants. And for some reason, the referee had like a referee like shirt underneath like his pants. I don't know why that happened, but it did happen.
And by the way, and by the way, this is where I say you got to take your victories where you can get them, Owen, because you are looking at this as a pro wrestling match, which is why it sucked. I am looking at this as exactly what it was going, where it was going, which was absolute comedy hour the whole time, and I was laughing through everything.
That's fair.
I was laughing through everything when the referee got pants and his fucking underwear is over his shirt. I'm like, come on. Like, even if it's the stupidest shit, you can't help but laugh. Like, everything was going swimmingly in that category.
Then they try to throw each other in the cake. They try to do the bit where, like, they try to shave Daphne's hair. Then this is when Crowbar comes out. He evens the odds. For some reason, he takes his pants off for reasons. Just
because he's Crowbar. Crowbar's weird. So at least it made sense in that aspect.
Yeah, and then he just doesn't do anything anymore. He just stops. And then eventually they're about to shave David Flair's head, Daphne, and Crowbar. And then Miss Hancock just like, okay, no, this is what the people...
This is where even that aspect of what I was just talking about completely falls apart.
Then... Miss Hancock just says, everybody came to see me take off my wedding gown. She takes off her wedding gown, which ultimately means she lost.
Okay. So I guess the gimmick is that because Miss Hancock is so distracting and hot that everybody was going to pay attention in that direction, and the match ended after that, and then... By the way, the whole wedding gown didn't even come off, which was weird, but yeah, okay. So yeah, they did that thing, and then fucking, they took the skirt off, and then that was the end of the match, and then the bell rang, and then the idea was that Hancock distracted and took the L to save David Flair's hair.
I don't think that was the idea at all. Like, the whole point of the match was so that...
Well, I don't got anything else, Owen, so I don't know what else. Why else would you fucking do that, and why else would everybody just stare in a direction? I think that was Russo's mindset, at least. It's a dumb mindset. It's a mindset.
But yeah, then it just goes badly. Everybody goes into cake. Crowbar, David Flair,
Dude, okay.
Daphne...
They just, they have a food fight out of nowhere after the match, and then they all fucking run up the ramp and keep having a food fight, and then, somebody fucking took a whole thing of cake to the face, and then...
Yeah.
Because of this segment, they have to do, like, a fucking 15
Like an intermission.
Like an intermission, they have to do, like, a 15-minute cleanup job to clean the cake, and even the janitors of the fucking... thing are just like, fuck it, and flip the mats over as they're running down the rest of the card, I guess. Or
the
whatever.
best part about this, too, they're trying to mop this. Somebody just has a bottle of water. He's just pouring water over it just to get...
Dude, and it's like, what are you doing that makes it worse? Where's the soap? Where's the soap? What do you mean? You can't just pour water on cake and then... No, that's how you spread the fucking frosting. You... Soap! Soap, motherfucker! Soap!
We'll just get this out of the way now. We see this cake for the rest of the night, by the way. Anytime the match gets close,
Dude, it's so fucking caked in to the padding when they flip it over that it then forms on concrete. It's literally splattered on the concrete when they flip the shit over.
Oh, this was bad. This is -5 stars. It was freaking awful.
Would you rate it -5? I guess if you're rating it as a wrestling match, yeah, I'm gonna go -2.5. Cause even, and again, it all was gonna go well. It was gonna be comedy, and that's what it was gonna be. And it would have been at least 0 stars. It wouldn't gotten a rating, but it would have gotten 0 stars. And then Hancock does the thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just
awful.
You had one job.
Yeah,
you had one job. This is Russo. Even at its brightest spots, if you look at it in a specific way, it just falls apart.
So I'll be real with you too. Why we've held off this retro? I watched this the first time. This was before Wyndham died and everything like that. And I'm like, you know what? I watched this late at night too. I paused my laptop. You know, I looked around. I was like, you know what? I think it's time for bed. I went upstairs to bed, and then I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to continue watching this show. I just messaged James. I'm like, hey, yeah, we're gonna do the retro Friday instead, and then Wyndham Watanda died, and then all these. And then I realized, oh shit, I'm gonna have to watch this match again now. I kept holding off the retro because I didn't want to watch this match a second time. So I'm like,
oh my god.
Yeah. So
what a shit show that was. Yep. It was.
Yeah, I legitimately.
It was something.
I think this is like the first time too I've ever like paused a wrestling match and then it was just like, yeah, it's time for bed. Like
I gotta tell you, I mean, you know, there is one thing you can at least say about this match. This takes the cake.
Was the cake good though? That's the thing we don't know. What a waste of cake, by the way, too. That could have been used for someone's birthday party.
Yeah, man. Like the fuck. Oh yeah, it's a wedding cake. What about a wedding, man? And what? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I cannot believe that they don't put effort towards the stage to make it look like they're on a fucking beach. But they'll do it for the fucking wedding gown match that meant nothing. They had like also wedding like things like all around the fucking ring. They had a cake and shit. Like, why?
Yeah. Also, by the way, too, the thing I have to ask, I probably wouldn't be as critical with this if it was on like Nitro or Thunder. People were paying $30 for this match. This did not belong on the pay-per-view. Like, this did not belong anywhere on the pay-per-view.
It did not belong on the pay-per-view. In the slightest.
Going through the career retrospectives, we've done Miss Hancock before because she's shown up on other retros. David Flair.
She knows how to handle cock, apparently. Then that's what we know.
Yeah. David Flair is Ric Flair's son.
Yes.
He tried tryouts in OVW and stuff, but he just never really made it in the business. And then he just kind of disappeared. He doesn't really do much anymore. He's just chilling. So
what was the strategy of WCW to go with fucking David Flair and not Reed? Just because he had like. Because Reed was way too young by this point.
Yeah,
right?
I think Reed was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a little kid. He had a bowl cut and shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then Daphne, I believe we've done a career retrospective on her before. No, we have.
All I will say is, if you want more of the Daphne story, because we definitely have done her career retrospective. There was a video that Tonka Saw did on the Grapple Vision channel. Shout out to him, by the way, because he actually gave me a pep talk a little bit, tried to get me out of my slump slightly. He did a really good piece on Daphne, and I forget the girl's name, but it was a girl that got ran over by a car when she was like a little girl, and she wanted to be a pro wrestler, and Daphne was like her best friend.
There you go.
It was a really touching, but also heartbreaking story because they both would end up dying not too long after. So,
and then
definitely give that a watch if you want to know more about Daphne.
And then we done Crowbar before. You can watch One Night Stand 05 because he shows up on that show. So
does he show up on that show?
Yeah, he's in the BWO, so you know.
Oh my fucking god, that's right. He's Nova, isn't he?
I think he is. Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Is he Nova? Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I'll double
Wow.
check.
Damn.
I will
Just
double check.
yeah,
for
because
you,
that
though.
just doesn't sound right. Like that's a completely different. Then again, like fucking, he had various different gimmicks in every company he ever worked for. So
Um.
because I know he was the green, like I know he was in the BWO, and then he became like a Green Lantern fan in ECW, and then he like went. I wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me that he would also be Crowbar, but
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm trying to find it, but he definitely.
Crowbar WCW is what you want to look up. If you want, I can pause. I will pause here. Okay, so we found out it wasn't him, but it was somebody that played as Nova. It wasn't actually Nova. That was in 2013 where he played Nova. He actually showed up as recently as All Elite Wrestling on an episode of Dark. He's actually currently in South. What is it called? He's Timeless Devon Storm, and he runs the TSW National.
Wait, he's time.
What the fuck is the name of this championship? He is the TSW National Attorneys Intercontinental Television Global World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of. Yeah, so that's why I thought he was in BWO though, because he did the thing with Blue Meanie. So that's why I thought he was in BWO at once.
Oh yeah, okay, that was a cameo appearance with the Blue Meanie, yeah, and yeah, so he was doing that. And then let's see. Yeah, he was in the independent circuit after WCW closed down, and then he showed up in TNA for 2002 to 2003 as Devon Storm, and he was along James Mitchell's New Church stable, which was also a Russo creation. And yeah, he showed back up in Hardcore Justice 2 in a Hardcore Battle Royal that was won by Shark Boy, and then he was never seen again. So
there you go.
That's his entire retrospective there, folks.
So the next commissioner, Ernest the Cat Mello, is backstage. He's on the phone. He's just talking to somebody.
He's trying to get a hold of, which again, you don't know what he's saying because it's mic'd up poorly. He's trying to get a hold of Hogan. Yeah, that's how I was able to find out, because I actually had to like really fucking lean in to hear him. But yeah, he was looking for Hogan.
He tried to figure out the Hulk Hogan situation, and then the Young Lions music plays. They kind of like show up because they're ninjas and stuff, and like kind of sneaking around, showing up all over the place. And then he just kind of looks around. He's like, "What the hell is that music? I keep hearing that music again." And he just kind of walks off, and that was the end of the segment. Nothing really comes of this. I mean, we see more of this stuff later, but nothing. This was just kind of a seg. I thought the joke had won state its welcome by this point. I don't really think you needed to go back to this.
Dude, it was like they just give them jobs. What the fuck?
Yeah, but they thought they had jobs, but
they should have had jobs.
Yeah. So then we had the next match. It was for the WCW World Tag Team Championships. It was the Perfect Event defended against Chronic.
So, yes, real quick, before we even get into this match, this was not bad. This was actually not serviceable. Bad. Very good.
It was decent, yeah.
Now, do you know why the Perfect Event are called the Perfect Event?
I think one has one nickname and the other has the other nickname, I believe.
Yes.
So.
The perfect one was Sean Stasiak.
Yeah.
And main event before Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso was Chuck Palumbo.
Except Jey Uso actually made it to the main event.
Yes, he did. So
Chuck Palumbo did make it to a main event. He made it into Royal Rumble 2008, baby. So I don't know what you're talking about. He did make it to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
He did make it to the main event. Main event the Royal Rumble in 2008.
I hate that you're right about this. I actually hate it. Fuck.
He was there for like 5 minutes, but he made evented the Royal Rumble 2008. So
yeah, that was one time. Yeah. Long after WCW closed its doors, he main evented. Yeah. So he was main event for some reason. I know the reason why Sean Stasiak was called the perfect one is because he ran off fucking Kurt Hennig, and they gave the fucking perfect one gimmick to to fucking Sean Stasiak.
You are correct, yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know, this is like the one time, I don't know the reason why this tag match happened. WCW didn't do a good job of telling you why it happened. It just looked like it was just randomly booked on the show, but there was probably a storyline behind it, but WCW did a terrible job of saying what the story was. So.
I bet you you didn't know, and neither did the rest of the casual fan that Russo supposedly had the back of. So nobody knew. I don't even think the hardcore fans knew. Nobody knew. Everybody was like, huh?
They just needed a tag title match, so they just went to these teams, and it happened.
Dude, you know it's bad when Scott Steiner in the distance just goes, huh?
What you want, boy?
What you want? What you want, boy? What's your purpose, boy? What you want? So, there you go.
But yeah, so Scott Steiner might be the highlight of the whole show, actually.
Oh yeah, by a country mile. Yeah.
There's one instance where he's just the highlight, but we'll get to that. So yeah, the tag title match starts. Chronic dominates the beginning portion of the matchup. They hit a lot of really good power moves on the Stasiak and Palumbo. Eventually, behind the ref's back, they dominate. I almost said Clark Connors, but it's not Clark Connors. It's
it is what's his name? It is
Brian
Clark and Brian Adams.
So it's Brian Adams that takes the heat. Behind the ref's back, they beat him up. They hit him with a chair. They just do a bunch of stuff to him, and they do some really good double team moves. They do a really good double Russian leg sweep to Brian Adams, so that's good stuff. Then Brian Clark gets the hot tag. It's not the greatest hot tag in the world, but it's a hot tag.
By this point, he is long since. I mean, the crowd were hot for him regardless, but they were hot for the hot tag. He had long past the days of Wrath by this point, because Wrath was he was really good, and he was just like, eh.
The match just continues. All the teams just kind of hit their tag moves and everything like that. They do a really good double choke slam onto Stasiak, but it gets broken up before the pinfall happens. And then eventually they do the Doomsday Device to Sean Stasiak.
What a great fucking tag finish, by the way. They actually had some really good tag moves, Chronic.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that somebody had it out for them when they came to the invasion, because they looked really good here.
Yeah, this was a decent little match here. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. I think I didn't give it 3. I thought the match lasted a little too long. I think it should have ended.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it should have ended. It got down to the point where I just started looking at my phone doing the match. It was just whatever.
You know what was weird about this match though? Fucking Brian Adams of all people invents the F5.
Yeah, he does a fireman's carry into a DDT type move.
That's exactly how Mark Madden fucking announced it as, which at the time it wasn't called the F5, so that was correct. By the way, I will say, Mark Madden annoying the whole fucking night on the show, not here in this match.
Yeah, not at all.
This is the one time, I swear to God, with all my soul, because I've watched all the shit with WCW, just because I'm a historian and I like to make myself suffer sometimes. This is the only time I've heard them sound good.
Yeah.
It's when, and I'm sure there was small other instances, but this is the one time if you get Mark Madden past the bullshit trying to be Lawler 2.0, he's good. He's actually good. He was good at breaking down holds, why they were hurting. He was actually better than anybody I've heard in WCW, even that was commentating for WCW. The only person that would top him is Tenay, because you're not going to fucking beat Tenay at that. But,
definitely.
Fucking Madden was good here. And so was Shivani, and they got along. It wasn't a fucking pissing match. There wasn't a hot girl that he was lusting at. You got him past all that shit because he liked both teams and he enjoyed the story. And even when they were doing the heel shtick, it was so bare bones, right? the way they were explaining it on commentary, because I think the gimmick was that they were the Perfect Event were a team that never should have even got together, and they just won by accident. They were accidental champions and shit.
Right.
And he's like trying to stick up for them, and the other two are just like, nah, they're bad. And then overall, they're proving them wrong in this match, and then they actually start giving them kudos, and then Mark Madden's happy about that, and then it's not a pissing contest. It's like, okay, we got some common ground now. It doesn't feel like it's a fucking nightmare, like it was throughout the rest of this broadcast, because Mark Madden wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I will say another positive. It's the only match that's really normal on this show. There's no crazy booking. So you know what? Think about it some more. I'm gonna go 3 stars just because, like,
yeah, honestly, it's the only match that ends with a clean finish. Yes. Yeah, it was the only match that ended with a clean finish. You're right.
Say that again.
Hello, again.
Yeah. So I'll go 3 stars. Yeah.
That again.
There you go. What?
I just said that again.
Oh, okay. So then, next we had Ernest the Cat Miller backstage. He's on the phone, still trying to get a hold of Hogan and everybody like that. And then Jeff Jarrett comes in. He ends like his phone call, which Ernest Cat Miller looked pissed about because, like, you know, back then you can't just do redial. You have to do the, you know, whole buttons again and everything like that. And Jeff Jarrett pretty much,
that,
you know.
Oh yeah, because he had one of those stupid old phones, right? Because they had the dials back then. They did have, you could punch the numbers as opposed to doing the...
No, yeah, but I don't think you could do, like, redial, is what I'm saying. So he would have to put the phone number in and everything like that.
You're right.
And yeah, Jeff Jarrett just pretty much says, yeah, you haven't provided me Hogan, so now I'm going to ruin your pay-per-view now. And Ernest the Cat Miller just looks pissed. He hangs up the phone to go make another phone call, and then the ninja music plays again, and then he gets beaten down by the ninjas. But I'm sorry, not the ninjas, the Young Lions, I'm sorry.
The ninjas, the Young Lions, the Young Dragons, the Dragon Youngs, whatever they're called. The balls of the dragon, whatever, man.
And then, yeah, I was thinking, okay, so later in the night, Ernest the Cat Miller is going to get, like, his comeuppance now and all that type of stuff. You know, this is continuing the story. This is the last segment you see of these guys. Nothing else happens after this. So they built this whole show around this angle, and then they just didn't pay it off.
I swear there was one more angle where he beat them again, right? In his office?
No, there's nothing else. This is it.
I swear there was another one.
But the next time you see Ernest the Cat Miller was doing the WCW US title match, and it sells as if the beatdown didn't even happen. So this is it. This is the last one.
Yeah. Because he got taken out, and then that was it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it's like, what the hell happened? Like,
fuck's sake. Yeah, it was. What a dumb fucking segment, man. Like, why even book this on the show? You could have just done this on, like, Saturday night or Thunder. Yeah,
this is terrible. Next we had Positively Cannon versus Booker T with a period at the end of it for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why.
He was Booker T. Well, he is what? Maybe they were thinking he was Booker T. Bro. You know,
I don't
just
know,
like Booker T was Booker T. Huffman, the original Booker T.
It been a while. I did go back and watch the show again, and then it had been a while since I looked at my notes. I was like, wait a minute, did I screw up? Did I put a period by mistake at the end of Booker T's name? No, that's supposed to be there, apparently.
That's supposed to be there. Russo was like, well, Booker T, we're going to emphasize that with a period. Yeah, a little dot.
Wait a minute. If you want to emphasize it, just put an exclamation point.
Wait a minute. What if he put the period in there so we could get his name back legally?
I think you're giving Vince Russo too much credit on that.
I
think it's just there.
But could you imagine if that was that would actually be a base thing to do. It's like Booker T loses the T to his name to Ahmed Johnson, and he gets it back by putting a period in front of Booker T. So he now has the right to use Booker T.
No, it's not in front of it. It's behind it. It's behind the T. So
is it behind the T?
Yeah, it's Booker T, then period.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I said in front of the T.
Yeah, no, it's behind the T, though. Like, it's after the T.
Yeah, it's after the T, but the period's in front of the T. I said it, and you're saying it in reverse order.
No, the period...
What do you mean?
I'm gonna say this is what it looks like. I'm gonna send you this on Facebook, and you understand why I'm saying it's behind the T. So,
What do you mean it's behind the T? It's behind the T?
yeah, this is what it looks. I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know why. I could just message the Discord chat. So
Yeah, just message the Discord chat. What?
yeah, this is what his name is written like.
Okay, hold on. I'm on the food chat. Okay, is it in the main chat?
It's in the rundown/retro chat.
Oh, okay. So the actual like chat thing. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, this is what Booker T's name looks like. This is the periods behind the T.
Okay,
It's Booker T.
Give me a minute, folks. Wait, I don't have. Did Discord get rid of chat? Oh no, I'm stupid. It's right here. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, but we're gonna.
No, it's in front of the T. What do you mean?
No, it's behind it. Like it's after.
It's not. What are you talking about?
It's Booker T. Then
No, the T is behind the period, but the period. I said the period's in front of the T.
It's not in front of it though. It's behind. It's like behind it.
What the fuck? Why are we having this argument? Why are we having this argument?
I don't know.
It's the same thing no matter how you say it. I said the period's in front of the T. You're saying the T's behind the period. It's the same thing.
This is what happens when you reboot your WCW 2000.
Yeah, we become Russo ourselves. We're Russified. We got swerved.
Alright,
We're swerving you. No, the period was actually behind the T, bro.
I don't know. Good thing I wasn't behind. I would have just not even put the period there, so good that I wasn't behind the...
What the fucking hell, dude?
But anyhow, the reason for this match was, Canyon developed like a positivity gimmick after he was thrown off like the triple-decker cage by, I forget who even threw him off. Was it Mike Awesome that threw him off the triple-decker cage?
He betrayed DDP and hit him with the diamond cutter, and then he stole DDP's gimmick just like every person in the New Blood stole a gimmick from a Millionaires Club. Yeah. It was so ridiculous.
And then Booker T got wrapped up at... I don't even remember how Booker T got wrapped up.
Booker T got wrapped up into it because Big T came in and stole his name, and he had to resort to using G.I. Bro. Before then, he was just straight up Booker. And he didn't even have pyro. Like, he didn't have pyro. He didn't have anything. He didn't even have the Harlem Heat music. He didn't have anything.
But yeah, I don't even know anymore.
It was fucking stupid. The whole thing.
Trying to break down these storylines. Yeah, I think this is like the most I've ever struggled to break up why this match is happening and why that match is happening. You just don't know.
I honestly think they had nothing to do with each other until the go home week, probably at Thunder, and then they just booked the match after. I almost guarantee you that's because that's how Russo booked every fucking show without a filter. That's exactly how he booked every show.
I know AEW has been known to do that, but at least it made sense when AEW did it because they would somehow.
Well, at least when AEW does it, they at least put a banger match together, and it's not just some random throwaway shit. Like at least there's history somehow between the two, and even if it's a random match where they don't have history, they could at least tell a fucking story in the ring, dude. These guys, they did that, but it's like. Why does he have to be a ripoff of Paige? So it already just kind of cheapens the match. It's a good match. It's a serviceable match. It's not bad.
Fucks. And then where's DDP? I think DDP was like thrown off the stage. So like, yeah, you write one of your fucking big stars off that could have been benefited on the show. You just write them off TV for
like you couldn't lose any more stars. Why are you writing people off? Fucking DDP, Scott Hall, fucking Kurt Hennig. Like, what the fuck?
There's another reason Scott Hall doesn't show up. We'll get to that.
Well, yeah, because we know he was a drunk at this point, for real.
But yeah, going through this, so the match is good stuff. Booker T gets the advantage early. He throws, he throws positively Canyon around. He Irish whips him hard way into the corner. Gets a really good stand-up axe kick, which was cool. He clotheslines him out of the ring. This was cool. They did like a double Irish whip reversal where Booker T does a reversal and then positively Cannon does a reversal. He's imitating DDP, which is why I keep saying DDP. So, this is what WCW does to you. It just makes you screw things up. I mean,
By the way, there was no rules at all. Every referee just did not care about the rules.
Well, I feel like I'll talk about that. Oh, there's an instance of that, by the way. So, yeah, you just reminded me of that. Positively Canyon, there we go, finally got his name right. He throws Booker T into the steps. He puts the steps on Booker T. In full view of the referee, he goes off the freaking apron and hits Booker T with a chair. The ref doesn't call for a DQ or anything. He just lets that slide. It's like, it's not like it's a personal feud or anything like that. The ref just lets that happen. It's like, what? Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, you just
referees got to be lax for the fans. They want to see the wrestlers go at it. As Shivani is like ripping his fucking hair out as he's trying to like, why don't you give a shit about the rules?
Yeah. I mean, I know AEW does this sometimes, but they don't do shit like that. Like, they usually don't be a DQ if that happens. Like, it's like, the hell is going on here?
At least when they do it, the referee is at least turned away, even though it's stupid that the way they have them turn away most of the time. I think the only time they actually got it right was when MJF cheated to win in the Iron Man match. It's probably the only time they got it like 100% correct.
No, but he had like the referee was like he fully saw
just in broad fucking daylight, just has the gun, caps the motherfucker, and he's just like, you're fine.
Yeah,
like,
so then
it'd be like if a cop saw that, he's just like, well, that takes care of that, and then just fucking walks away.
Oh, by the way, we should mention in WWF, by the way, someone jumping off the apron with a chair, hitting someone in the steps. That's like a write-off of like probably like what 4 months or something like that. It's just a spot in the mat. It's nothing big.
He does a crossbody like this. Canyon's just like willing to kill himself. He misses, falls on concrete, and is just like, Whatever. He gets back up. He gets back up. Nothing matters in this company. That's all bullshit.
So yeah, positively Canyon gets the heat for a little bit. It's good stuff. Booker T starts somehow to come back. He hits a really good spine buster onto
Span on the pan.
What's his name? Positively Canyon.
Just call him DDP Jr. There you go. Make it easy for yourself.
And then Booker T does a good spin of Rooney. And then eventually positively Canyon behind the ref's back. I don't know why it matters at this point. Referee just lets it slide. So it's like, you know.
You're right. You're so right.
Yeah, he hits Booker T with a book. Positively Canyon goes for the pin. Booker T kicks out. And Positively Canyon's confused because that
always wins the match. Yeah, there always wins a match because there's a brick in the book. So, I like this because Booker was smart and he knew better. So when Canyon had his back turned, he actually took the brick out of the book and tossed it aside. So when he hits him with the book, again, by the way, while the ref's turned behind his back, but he didn't with the fucking chair. That made sense. He hits him with the book, and he kicks out of 2. Booker is playing possum. Genius.
I do have to say,
genius.
I do have to say the commentators did a good job saying this, and then Monk Madden was Monk Madden, and then it ruined it. Like Shivani was doing a good job breaking this down. And then
so was Scott Hudson, and then Mark Madden just opened his fucking mouth like, just like he was oblivious to the fact that the brick was gone. I think at one point during that, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna tune you out, bud.
Which doesn't make sense because then it shows a clear view that Scott Hudson's holding the brick. So
it was like, wait, the brick was there. What the hell? I'm like, are you always disciplined? Are you always just not giving a shit?
Yeah.
Like, probably not. Like, we just complimented him on the last match where Mark Madden actually did a good job calling a match when you get him past his bullshit. So this is like, you know what it is? It's Mark Madden in Vince Russo's world, and Mark Madden is a character played by Vince Russo's wishes. It's not even Mark Madden the person. It's just Mark Madden how you perceive him in WCW, and then it's fucking.
At the end, I forgot. We have a retrospective on Hudson and Madden. I forgot to do that.
Yeah, you're fine. We'll get there, and we'll get there in the end. How about that?
So then, so continuing. Then Booker T hits another spine buster, an axe kick, and then the bookend. I don't think it was called the bookend then. I think it was just like a Yoanagi type of move. So there you go. It's not the finish though. He did, Canyon just kicks out. It's like, okay, yeah, he just hit all 3 finishes on you.
Fucking scissors kick and a bookend, and that is not the finish.
And it wasn't like because I was gonna say nowadays you see all this stuff. Nowadays when people do finisher kickouts, though, it's not like in a row. Like Booker, he takes all of these moves in a row and still kicks out.
Yeah,
like
he takes a Harlem sidekick, scissors kick, bookend, kick out. The
like, what?
fuck? And then he's going for his missile drop kick. And that's when I'm like, okay, that's right, because I forgot he actually, that wasn't his finish. You would think it would be. It's not his finish. I forgot the missile drop kick was his finish for years. So he's going for the missile drop kick, which is actually his finish. And Jarrett, who is still having a feud with Booker and has been having a feud with Booker, at least I got that fucking consistent. If nothing goddamn else, by the way.
Well, they were gonna need this later in the night too. So that
which
good.
Again shows that this was a complete work from the off. Even if Russo shot on Terry Bollea later, he comes out and he fucking smashes him over the head with the guitar. Which, by the way, like I know people say that shit never drew a dime. I'll never get sick of seeing any guitar shot in wrestling, man. The shit just looks so clean every time. And then Positively Canyon or DDP Jr. hits the Diamond Cutter or Canyon Cutter or Ace Crusher or RKO, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and gets the Duke. So, there you go.
Not even just that, though. I like how they have to do this so grand, too. Like, he could have just pinned him. He could have just hit it regular. They had him put Booker T back on the rope just so he could hit it again. Like, come on, you're doing too much there. It's like...
Yeah, you know what, though? It's Canyon, and he's the innovator of moves. As Mark Madden said like 50 times during this match. And he also screamed when he hit the Canyon Cutter. Very, very loudly. It's the Canyon Cutter! It's the Canyon Cutter! Sounds like a fucking chihuahua every time he screams, by the way. Jesus Christ.
I thought this match was good. I'll give it like 3 stars, you know. I thought everything they did made sense, minus the stuff where they're doing stuff in front of the referee's back. In front of the referee and all that.
Honestly, I was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Why should I give that much of a shit? I'll rate it 3 1/4. I don't even care. It was like, all right, this is good.
Yeah, good stuff, you know.
Good match. Good match by both men involved. Please, like, WCW just cheap. It could have been at least a 3 3/4 if there wasn't a cheapened fucking DDP imitator gimmick involved in this.
Yeah.
That's like the thing that drags us down for me. But
the career retrospective for this was obviously Positively Canyon. Just, you know, he just did his thing. WCW died, and then he went to WWF, and then he got jobbed out completely there with DDP. Ironically enough,
he was very and during the time when he was wrestling, like gays were not even widely accepted like that yet, and he hit it for years, and he hit it for so long that he just took his own life. That always such a fuck. It pisses me off because he was so good. So good as a wrestler. Like, he was he really was an innovator of, like, his time. He was ahead of his time, quite honestly. So, yeah. And Brian Cage was, like, one of his trainees. One of his last trainees ever. So.
That's cool. Next, Mike Awesome is backstage talking to the fat lady. With that,
that's been with Jeff Jarrett all night. That isn't with him right now, and he's just talking with her,
trying to flirt with her, and then Pamela. Let me get the name.
Pamela who? Anderson.
Pamela Paul Shaw comes up and tries to interview him, and
Pamela. I'm sorry, Pamela. What? Paul Shaw?
Paul Shock.
Huh?
That's what it says here. It's
like 2 words or 1 word, Paul Shock?
One word, Paul Shock. Paul the name and then Shock, like Aftershock. So
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. But she comes up and tries to interview him. She wants to know like his strategy for the WCW US title match and everything like that. And Mike Awesome's pissed because he thinks in his mind she blew his chances with this woman. It scares her away, and he puts down her look, saying that she's never going to look as good as them and all that type of stuff.
That was incredible. Like, he made it work. Why did he make it work? I don't understand it. Like, it shouldn't have worked, and Mike Awesome somehow, of all fucking people, made it work.
Yeah, it was good.
It was funny. It was genuinely hilarious.
And then he says he's going to destroy Scott Steiner and take his U.S. championship tonight. There's nothing he can do about it. And so
simple and effective promo, funny gimmick.
yeah,
It was actually over. This was the better gimmick of the two he had in this company. Actually, no, I can't say that because Team Canada was pretty good. Team Canada 1.0 was actually hilarious. So there was that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Next, we had a WCW United States Championship match. It was Scott Steiner with I can't say this name. It's Mida J. Madeja versus Mike Awesome. Before the match starts, they start brawling with each other. They fight all over the place. Scott Steiner hits a really cool dive. No, Mike Awesome hits a really cool dive into the crowd, and they fight through the crowd.
Again, referee doesn't even call for a count out. Broad daylight, they're just brawling, having a crowd brawl.
Yeah. But, I mean, I know AEW's done this. They also let you know from the jump, like, this is a title match. Like, this is like just doing shit for doing shit type of thing. And then
well, to be fair, this was a title match, so you know.
Yes, but AEW has made it well known from the jump that it's a title match. We're going to be lenient. There's times in WCW where they can't make up their minds whether you are going to have DQs or not in title matches. So, but yeah, they fight back to the ring. Mike Awesome hits a really nice clothesline. He throws Steiner again into the barricade. Steiner mounts a great comeback. He hits a really good half Nelson suplex. Really dropping Awesome on his neck, which was really good stuff.
Yeah,
he hits a really good follow-away slam on Awesome from the second turnbuckle actually, which is great. And then he's about to go for the Steiner Wakanda, but Ernest the Cat Miller not selling the fact that he was beaten up by the Young Lions earlier and a little bit earlier. The segment's not even mentioned. He comes out and he tells Scott Steiner, because apparently he banned the Steiner recliner. Great job letting us know that on the freaking pay-per-view for people who didn't want to go.
Right. Again, yeah, not even close to letting.
Not even mention
until he's about to apply the fucking move. By the way, and then you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So you wouldn't even. They don't even. But this allows Mike Awesome to get his bearings about him. He gets a really good pump kick onto Steiner, but Steiner kicks out, and then eventually Steiner's gonna hit the move anyways. Ernest the Cat Miller tells him, "You put this on, you're gonna stripped of the championship and all that."
Yep.
Steiner flips him off. He puts on the Steiner recliner. He has the referee stop the match. You would think Mike Awesome wins via DQ and all that type of stuff. It says on Wikipedia, by the way.
Mike Awesome wins, but he doesn't win the championship, or does he? Win
no, but it says Mike Awesome wins via disqualification. But you watch the match, you wouldn't know that. You would think it's a no contest. You think nobody won, but apparently, according to this, Mike Awesome won via DQ. I'm gonna be like, no, he didn't. They didn't make that.
Nobody even know. Yeah. So and let's talk about the shame in this because they were having a belter. They were just clubbing the shit out of each other.
They really were.
This was such a great match that was happening, and then the Russo finish.
Yeah,
we're gonna be saying that a lot during this show, folks.
I love Scott Steiner here, though. His reaction, he just clubbed.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal, even during the Russo shit because he's Scott no matter what. He just flips him off. He's like, I don't give a shit about this title. You think I care? And he fucking puts it on anyway. So it's like, all right, well, Matt suffered, but it was fun.
And then afterwards, he just does this really good, half and half, suplex on Awesome, just to really.
Yeah, just dunks him on his neck. Yeah, that was wild.
I give this 3. I give it 3 1/4 stars. The finish really ruined it.
Yeah. This was on its way to being the only. This would have been the only 4-star match of the night if they just had a straight 1-on-1. Yeah. And then they fucked it up.
And again, them not explaining the fact that the Steiner collider was supposed to be banned until they needed it for the finish was really bad too. They could have played up to it and all that type of stuff, but they just didn't do that. So, just the shit. Then we have another bad match.
Just so matter of fact. Just shit. It was just
Then we have another
shit.
match that's not all about. That's even worse than this. It's the graveyard match. It's Vampiro versus the Demon.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't really even. They weren't even really feuding. By the way, this was just a setup so that way Sting could come back. This was just a waste of time for on all fronts. I don't even.
Yeah.
They tried to tell the storyline that Vampiro like wanted the Demon to join up with him and all that type of stuff. But yeah, you wouldn't. They didn't really do a good job telling you the storyline. They fought in a graveyard. Pretty much the whole thing was you had to make it back to the arena first, and that's pretty much how you won the match. So that's that. Breaking kayfabe again, by the way. Dale Torborg obviously played the Demon. They're calling him Dale Torborg. He's the Demon Dale Torborg, but then other times he's the Demon.
The reason you call somebody by the Demon is to not then call him fucking Dale Torborg. So
Vampiro's calling him Dale Torborg too. You know, it's like the hell's going on here. Like,
so before we even get to this, I want to do a semi-career retrospective, at least in the beginning of the metamorphosis of the Demon. Because have you ever heard the story of how this guy even became a thing?
So, from what I understand, let me see if I can say it, and then I'll. The reason this is a thing is because they had a partnership with Kiss.
Yes.
And I think they had to do a thing where they had to make a character that was like Kiss. And I remember there's a thing where they had to have the Demon main event like one WCW pay-per-view, but they
yes.
They obviously they found a loophole and they
yes. Okay, so you do know the basics. I'm gonna tell you the whole story, okay? Because the whole story is so wrestling. It's so corny. It's so ridiculous.
Before that, we forgot to do a career retrospective on the valet for Scott Steiner, but she shows up later, so we'll do it later.
Yeah, we'll do it later. It's fine.
Sort of shows up later.
Yeah. So real quick, right? So Dale Torborg was a motorsports guy. He was actually a part of the pit crew, like legitimately a part of the pit crew for NASCAR. And he wanted to be a wrestler, so he was a wrestler, and yeah, right? So they did that thing, and originally the Kiss Demon, I believe, was going to be Bryan Adams. Bryan Adams refused the gimmick, so they went back to Dale Torborg. They actually kind of didn't know which one was going to be the Kiss Demon. They settled on Dale, and the gimmick, the reason why the thing was done was because Kiss had their concert at the end on a main event Nitro, and that's where he made his debut, was because the last song, I think it was Rock and Roll All Night, he comes out as the Demon out of a coffin, and that's your new wrestler, that's your new gimmick, right? The idea behind the Kiss Demon wasn't even supposed to be one guy. It was supposed to be a whole band, right? It was supposed to be a whole band led by him, where it was going to be Kiss, the band, kinda, but as wrestlers. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. So, they do eventually do this faction as part of the agreement, but the faction is not full-on Kiss. They get a bunch of face-painted guys. Vampiro, I think Raven was a part of it for like a cup of coffee, even though he never wore face paint, but, you know, fuck it, grunge, makes sense. Great Muda, which is fucking wild, and ICP, which is also fucking wild. So that was the faction, right? Now, that's just what they do after the main event match. The main event match was, like, and again, shout out to Bischoff for even being able to pull something like that off, because he's the only person that was going to do that. In the contract of Kiss for this fucking show, right?
I remember, yeah.
They're supposed to have this main event match, as you said. The loophole was that it was a special main event match, and they called it a special main event match because it had the term main event there. It was fourth on the card, where he fought General A. Wall when he was just the Wall.
Yeah.
And he lost!
I didn't know he lost.
He
so-
lost! Okay? Because by this point, Bischoff had already gotten kicked the fuck out of WCW because the management just had it out for him from jump. Even though he's the reason why the deal happened for Kiss to show up and have this huge contract with them, right? That was gonna give them money and merchandise and all this shit. They couldn't even get halfway through that fucking deal because they didn't like Bischoff. So it was just to spite Bischoff. So they cardied Kiss because they didn't like Bischoff. So they fucked Dale Torborg by having him lose to the wall on a meaningless pay-per-view match that they called a special main event.
Hey, WWE learned it from somewhere because WWE had done that since then. By the way.
Yes, many times. Yes. So yeah, there's the story. That's the story of Dale Torborg. We'll get to the ending story afterwards. I had to fucking tell that story. Shout out Deadlock for most of that information, by the way. But I noticed the band of Kiss was just a bunch of people in face paint. So there you go.
But yeah, so we have this graveyard match. It's basically the early stages of a cinematic match. So this match is a little bit ahead of its time, way too much ahead of its time, just because, like, you know, no one really knows how to react to it. You don't have, like, the technology to really do a cinematic match properly.
Ooh. Do you not at all?
And obviously, I mean, they've done this since. I always hate when they do cinematic matches and there's commentary. I just think it really takes away from a cinematic match to have commentary. There's been matches that have made it work, like obviously the Stadium Stampede matches made the commentary work and all that type of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it really wasn't even supposed to be a cinematic match. Really, it was supposed to be like as if it was taking place in real time anyway. So
yeah,
that
it was a cinematic match.
That worked, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, this was the whole thing of the match was, and I find it kind of funny. I mean, this would have been more fitting, obviously, if we could have gotten this retro, because we planned to do this retro the same week we watched the House of Horrors match. So obviously, yeah, this match is a lot like that match in a way, except I would say the House of Horrors match is worse because at least this match is over quick.
Yeah, I will say too, the storytelling was actually a lot better in this match. It wasn't much, but it was way better. Only because Vampiro can literally, you could give this fucking guy anything and he'll make it fucking work.
So yeah, the demon.
That's just the reality of it. Like that's just how it is.
So the demon's with his valet. I don't even remember the name of his valet.
I remember the name of the valet, Asia with a Y.
Asia. There you go.
Do you know why she was called Asia?
Was she Asian?
No.
Why was she called Asia?
Well, Control C from the WWF for China, and Control V, and you get Asia.
There you go.
That's the reason.
So the demon can't find Vampiro anyway. He's looking all over for him. So again, Randy Orton took a lot of motivation from the House of Horrors match to this match, because if you can't find him, just go back to the arena. That's how you win the match. You could just leave. Go to the arena.
That was like the thing. Like, if you got past the bullshit, this worked. Until you're told you have to go back to the arena. So why Dale Torborg didn't enter the graveyard and then immediately dart for the fucking exit is beyond me.
Right.
So
but yeah, so he's looking all around for Vampiro. Vampiro is in a tree, just hanging out.
Motherfucker acted like Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto. Just be like, gotcha, bitch! Like,
I'll take your word for that, so.
Yeah, just trust me.
He didn't get him. He jumps out of the tree and misses. He moves.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. No, I'm sorry. You're right. He did, no, because Sasuke Uchiha actually connected with his fucking leaps.
He didn't even win.
He didn't even he didn't land on anybody. He landed on the ground.
So they brawl around for a little bit. I think Vampiro picked up like a stick and hit Demon with it. I will say I think because you can't see this match very well. Again, because this match is too much ahead of its time. They have to referees have to like shine flashlights so that way you can see like what's going on.
And these are like 2000 flashlights, so these aren't like the iPhone flashlights like now where you can actually like light up a room with these and that you can actually see everything that's going on. We're talking like a light like mine. Like, that has a light bulb screwed in on it, like a mini light bulb. You flash it, and it's just like fluorescent light barely going through this because the glass is so thick and dense.
So then,
just no light.
Yeah, so they fight for a little bit. They fight into the grave. For some reason, they're struggling to put each other into the grave. It's like that's not how you win the match. So what are you doing that for? Like that's not how you win. Like
it's just why couldn't it just been buried alive?
Boneyard match like the WrestleMania 36. So then eventually Vampiro kidnaps Asia. He takes off. The demon gets out of the grave. He's chasing after her. Well, them, I guess. And then, he sees Asia. She's just all distraught as if something happened by, like, a lake. And then Vampiro pops up out of the lake like a horror movie character. They fight into the lake, and somehow the demon gets knocked out. And then Vampiro takes Asia, goes back to the grave. Even though that's the complete opposite direction of where the arena is.
For the record, Vampiro's cutting a hell of a promo, like, to Asia while all this fucking nonsense is going on.
It doesn't matter, though.
And there's, like, a cool spot where they fight in the water, at least.
Yeah, I guess. But it doesn't matter.
At least Charles Robinson seems concerned, and then, like,
yeah, it doesn't matter. They're not winning. They don't know how to win this match. Apparently, they didn't know the rules.
This was honestly, this is like a Bollywood like fucking horror movie. Like really.
So then they fight back to the grave. They go back to the grave. So then Dale Torborg, I guess he's concerned for age. I could say that's why he went back that way. But it's like I don't know. Yeah, he goes back towards the grave. He's still looking for Vampiro. I mean, he could just take Asia and just leave at this point, but no, he just sticks around, and then Vampiro pops up out of the grave, sprays red mist into his face, knocks him out with a tombstone, and then Dale Torborg, the demon, falls into the grave. He had like a torch with him, and he just puts it. I think it was supposed to set like the casket on fire or something,
and but it doesn't because they don't. How fucking guys? Soap for the cake, lighter fluid for the fire, like. Where's the budget for the show gone? Like, did all the money for Western Union just, like, go towards the wedding cake and nothing else? Like,
yeah, so then Vampiro just leaves. He just starts making his way to the arena. He has to just walk, too. We don't... And Shivani says, we don't know where this place is. I think we're meant to think this is happening in real time. It's not like as if it's happening earlier in the day or anything like that. So it's like, okay.
It's happening IRL in real time in Daytona, and I guess they fought in a river somewhere in Daytona. So
yeah,
it could have been good. There was moments of it where it showed promise, and then you fucking realize, oh wait, you were supposed to go back to the arena. And this match now sucks.
Also, too, they made the demon look really stupid in this match, like a really dumb baby face. Like he falls.
Oh yeah. No, that was the MO of WCW. Make the demon look as stupid as possible.
I don't think he got any offense really in this match at all. I think it was all Vampiro pretty much. I think too when you see this match is just a waste of time anyways at the end of the day because all this does is just build up for it's just a build up for Sting to come back. So it's like, what are you doing this for? I think I put 2 stars in, but now that I've broken down the match, I'm gonna go like 1.25 stars. I will say it is innovative because it's the first of its kind type of thing. So
it was what it was. It was something.
There's a reason I did make a lot of comparisons because WCW I think just tried something that I don't think that the industry was really ready for yet. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, true.
Then again, though, I say this: I feel like Matt Hardy, if he had been able to if he had the creative mind, he would have found a way to make this work, even in 2000, if he had the chance, type of thing. So I don't know. But again, I think it was just the world wasn't ready for a cinematic match yet.
Well, it damn sure wasn't one ready for when WCW did it. Like, you know what's fucked up too? How does the WWF have better lighting when Hardcore Holly or no when when Al Snow and Road Dogg fight in the snow?
Yeah, I mean that technically is That's technically a cinematic match.
And
Actually,
it was a hardcore match because it happened live, but it's like they have better lighting.
Yeah.
So
I mean, technically, WWF did do a cinematic match before this. I mean, Halftime Heat's technically a cinematic match. Actually,
you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So you know. Next. Yeah, so I give it star and 3/4. Anything else you want to say about this? I don't think you gave it star.
A star and a quarter.
No, I think I did. Did I say a star and a quarter with you or 3/4? I think I said
a star and a quarter. Yeah.
Since Vampiro shows back up on this show, I mean, I think you kind of did the career with the Spectre of the Demon pretty much. I don't think this is the last
Demon.
of the Demon.
Well, the Demon he just kind of floats around in WCW. They do that faction eventually, which was a really wild concept, and then he just kind of fizzles out in WCW. And then
I think
the last appearance was in TNA, and then he got sick of doing that, and then he just became a baseball coach, I think, or something for like a little league team.
They had brought him back a few times at Impact and all that type of stuff last year and type of thing. It's been pretty decent, I guess. So, do you have? I don't know if you remember this. They did like a segment one time where what's the name of that wrestler? I can't think of his name now. He like thinks he's back in like the 90s and all that type of stuff. Is it Johnny Swinner? And he thought it was like the real Kiss. So that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
I think they did like a Wrestle House segment where like he pretended to be a guy from Kiss. So, and believe it or not, Impact booked him better, I think, than WCW ever did. So
yeah, they did not do him any favors, all because they didn't like Bischoff. Just imagine that. Holy shit. What a way to piss money. Like, in a time where you needed money, Kiss could have provided you a lot, and you just pissed all over it because of petty shit, man. Fuck's sake.
That's the nature of the show.
That's wrestling.
Yep. Then we had Shane Douglas get interviewed. He talks about how he's going to take out Buff Bagwell, and he says that Buff Bagwell is not on his league, and said that he's just good. He's just a better talent overall. And he says that he's the reason that their tag team failed originally and all that type of stuff, which IOL was the kind of the truth, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, good promo here by Shane Douglas.
Was it the truth though? Because
because Buff Bagwell got suspended, so they had to vacate the tag titles. So
that's right. That's right. I forgot that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, this was a good promo here by Shane Douglas. I thought he was really good here. So, what'd you think?
Shane Douglas is always good on the mic. Thumbs up always. Shane Douglas never fucking fails to cut a great promo.
Yeah. So no matter what gimmick you give him.
Exactly.
Next, they announced this contest they were doing where like you could show that you've spent money to go to the pay-per-view or bought the pay-per-view, and you would get a contest, and the winner would get to accompany Goldberg to a match at the next pay-per-view or something. I don't know if they ever followed through with this, but this happened, which is weird because Goldberg was a heel at the time, so you would think they'd be a babyface, but because of the fact they weren't gonna have much baby faces, it's just, decent little contest right here. I wonder who entered and I wonder who won. So
there you go.
Next we had Buff Bagwell versus Shane Douglas. Yeah, the reason for this match was Buff Bagwell and Shane Douglas were the WCW Tag Champions. They won the belts off like a fluke, and they had to vacate the titles because Buff Bagwell got suspended, IOL. I think I don't remember what he got suspended for, but he got suspended. So they had to vacate the tag titles, and Shane Douglas was on his own. Buff Bagwell returned, and it looked like they were going to get the titles back, but then Shane Douglas turned on him. And he basically blamed Buff Bagwell for the reason that they lost the tag titles and why, their careers kind of floundered for a little bit. So that's kind of why this happened. Right. Decent little reason for this feud to happen. You can't fault WCW too much for having to make something out of something. Good. I thought this match was relatively good, very back and forth. Shane Douglas, I thought made Buff Bagwell look really good here. And then, then the finish happens. So, Stacy Keibler, I don't even know if that's her name.
I swear, no, that's Tori Wilson, you mean. I think she
Tori
might have just
Wilson.
been Tori at this point. But yes.
Oh
okay.
yeah, I mixed them up. Yeah.
Real quick. Right. So the match is good, and then the finish happens. Has literally been the entire fucking story of the night on this show. The only
Except for
time where it wasn't the case was actually like the opener and the tag match. That's like it. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, really good back and forth stuff.
Actually, no. Canyon and Booker. I'll give that one a pass too.
So yeah, Tori Wilson comes out, and yeah, she's a part of the storyline, which WCW doesn't do a good enough job explaining that she was. You wouldn't have even known
she
it.
was the valet, I guess. Yeah.
She was the valet of Billy Kidman, but for some reason she was showing up here. I don't know. And she provides a distraction, but we don't know who she's there for. And she slaps Shane Douglas in the face, and Bagwell hits a reverse DDT, and Shane Douglas kicks out. Then, yeah, then they do it. Then behind the ref's back, for some reason, they have Tori come in, and they're kissing and everything like that. I don't know why this has to happen behind the ref's back. Referees are just letting shit slide all over the place type of thing. So it's like, I guess this is illegal for some reason.
This isn't illegal. Man.
But then she low blows Buff Bagwell. So they had to do a swerve, but they had to find a. But that doesn't make sense. So she was with Shane Douglas all along. You find out. But then why did you slap him in the face? Did he like? It doesn't.
Like it's just okay.
But then Shane Douglas hits the perfect plex, and you're like, okay, that's the finish. It's not the finish. He kicks out.
I was fucking over it. I was so over it, dude.
So then
he just can't kick it out.
So then
This is like me and when I was watching Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley and All Out. I was just like, end the match. Jesus
but this is
Christ.
worse because like that was a finish. That's a finish.
That's a finish, and you fucking get a kick out of the. You just gimmick the finish that worked perfectly, and boom, nope, he kicks out. 2.99999.
So then Bagwell goes to go off the top toe. Yeah, he recovers from this, by the way. He's just hanging out. And then they have Tori go up on the second toe. Bagwell's about to go off the second turnbuckle. Tori grabs his leg, and then Bagwell misses a crossbody, and then Shane Douglas doesn't even hit his finisher. He hits like a jawbreaker.
Yeah, it's his finish. Remember the franchiser?
Oh, that's right.
This is the franchiser. It's a shit stunner.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good franchise. I don't know if Bagwell didn't know how to take the move, or they would just, I don't know what happened.
It's a reverse Stone Cold Stunner, aka the franchiser, and it sucked. It is terrible.
So Shane Douglas wins. It's revealed that he's been with Tori all this time. This is like, I think I gave it like, what did I give it? I think I gave it. That's what I have in my notes.
This is -4 stars, bro. Like, I don't even care how good the match was. I'm just like, you kicked out of 2 finishes, and then you had a weaker finish to fucking finish the show. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? Like, what are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing? Why are we having him kick out 4 times when you had 4 finishes, and then he kicks out? And he doesn't even kick out of a shit jawbreaker. What the fuck, man?
So, James, I think a lot of people could come at us because we're going to say, oh, these kids now. But yet, you guys love it when people kick out of all the shit in NXT takeovers and all that type of stuff. No, when NXT takeover, if they did a finish like this, that would have been the finish. They would not have had
the one time it wasn't the finish was when Cole and Gargano did it, and that's because the story made fucking sense for it. There was no reason for Buff Bagwell to kick out of fucking three to 4 fucking finishes in a row. Or I'm sorry, no, 2 for Bagwell, 2 for Douglas. There's no need for this match to fucking. It should have been like at least the 3rd false finish, at least the 3rd. They went 5 finishes for this fucking thing. I was just like, what the? I tuned out. I took a nap. I took a nap after this. I'm just like, I need to watch this the next day.
Because then you know, no, because By the way, we're already ranting. We're not even at the worst of the show because it's the next thing that happens. So
oh yeah. This is easily, if what happened wasn't so infamous for being such a bag fung, why am I struggling on those two words? A bag fumbler. There we go. This fucking thing would have been the worst thing on the show. Honestly. Douglas and Bagwell sucked, man.
It was bad.
Like, this was worse than Booker T and Buff Bagwell ever could dream of being. Like, this sucked. Like, 10 ways to Sunday, Saturday, and every other day of the week.
Before we cover the next thing, because that's going to take a bit to cover, do you want to do a quick career retrospective on Buff Bagwell? Because I think you're
yeah, man. Like, okay, so Buff Bagwell always dealt a shit hand. Like, he should have turned babyface in Atlanta. He never did. They fucking had to be a swerve twice while he was a part of the NWO. And then he did eventually turn babyface during Russo's era. By that point, everybody had tuned out. Nobody cared. And then he showed up to WWF. And then he jobbed to Booker, and then he jobbed to the rest of the roster, and they legitimately kick him out because they did not like Bagwell, and they blamed him for the WCW relaunch failing, and he never, ever recovered, and he blamed himself for years, and he got fucking fucked up on dope, and then DDP helped him out of that jam, and now he feels good about himself, which is good for Bagwell, by the way. Good for you. I appreciate you.
Alright, so now here's the big reason we're here.
Well, did we do Shane Douglas and Tori Wilson?
We've done them both before,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Shane Douglas shows up at
he waved. Yeah, you're right.
And then Tori Wilson, I remember she shows up somewhere.
Yeah,
but I forget where. I know we have done Tori Wilson before, though.
She is. She still looks the same as she did back then. By the way, that's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, I don't know how you could maintain that look for that long.
All right, so I think the best way to cover, I think we need to take the SummerSlam 05 method and just cover everything that happens with Hogan and Vince Russo on the show, and then mention the backs. By the way, you haven't noticed, by the way, this is the second retro for Hogan that we've had to do this for.
Yeah, actually, let me just do this real quick. I'm actually going to call an audible, because if we're going to do that, let's get the Vampiro and Sting nonsense out of the way first, and then cover all the Hogan nonsense with Russo.
All right, I will say this then, because we'll say the Sting and Vampiro nonsense. I think the enjoyment of it, if there is enjoyment of it, is very hurt because it's right after the Hogan nonsense.
And
so I think
absolutely right after Hogan. Yes, after the Hogan Jarrett match. So just know that going in. Now, in a vacuum, this segment was decent because Vampiro comes out and he cuts a promo. What was the promo he cut? Go ahead.
He talks about how the Demon Dale Dorberg had an opportunity to join him, but he failed. And he mentions, that he's the true monster now of WCW. Everybody fears him. And then Sting's music goes off. A bunch of people dressed in Sting masks come out. There's a casket. The reason that Sting was written off, they did an angle, I think it was at Super Bowl, where they had some type of match where it was a very Russo type match where they had to set it was like an Inferno match.
It was an Inferno match, but you had to set your opponent on fire on top of the Nitro Vision Tron, and you had to toss him off the stage while he was on fire. Which, by the way, the person who took the fall wasn't even Sting, it was a stunt double of Sting.
Yeah.
This show's a fucking train wreck.
So, Vampiro doesn't know what to make of any of this. And then the casket opens. Yeah, Stin beats him down, but you don't even know this is really Stin because the camera doesn't zoom in on his face at all. For some reason, he's wearing a mask too. There's no reason for it. He
He
puts,
wears a mask. Dude, TNA got it from this. Oh, wait, Russo booked both.
yeah, and then he puts Vampiro into the casket, and then the segment just ends. That's it. You don't even get.
That's
There's
it.
really not.
Oh, and by the way, this is as Mark Madden is like, who gives a shit about this segment? Like, what the fuck just happened prior with Hogan and Jarrett?
Yeah,
So they just bury this segment like.
yeah.
Oh my god.
The commentator's not even talking about this segment because of what just happened prior, so they're not even like, you know.
Oh,
interested
it's
in it.
just yeah. I mean,
I think in a vacuum.
thumbs all the way down, like because like
I feel like I will say this: it's not the talent's fault. I feel like they were put in a bad position. I think if this happened before the Hogan thing, this probably would have been a little bit better, not much better, but
it would have been
this
way
is also
better than it was. Yes.
the crowd because the crowd's not into it because of the Hogan thing, and then you know.
Man.
Again, too, I feel like too, if you were gonna do let's say you have to do the Hogan thing, right? I think they should have followed it up by having like a kick-ass match or something. Like maybe the cruiserweight title match would have suffered here, but I feel like it would have stood a better chance putting the cruiserweight title match here at least. So something.
I disagree. I don't think anything would have saved that.
Yeah.
That was a death spot, dude, for anything.
I know, but it was not the best idea to put Stin and Vampiro, two like creepy characters who like are kind of strange anyway, because the fans are like, you know,
Just what a fucking weird thing
yeah.
to put. Like the last 4 segments of the show again, just die a death because of what happens.
By the way, they mentioned on commentary, maybe it was supposed to happen the next night. There was supposed to be a WCW like tag title, like cruiserweight tag title match on the show. It just doesn't happen for some. Probably because of the Russo shit, it probably doesn't happen. But it just don't happen. It's just like okay, all right. So that's
Oh man!
By the way, by this point, Vampiro wins the graveyard match because he made it to the win and everything like.
They don't even ring the bell, by the way. Like, well, that's that's the end of it.
No drama behind it or
In
anything
the
like that.
fuck? What? Like what? I don't care. Whatever. Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? I should care, but I don't care. There you go. A lot of care.
All right,
None
so
of
now
it
let's
in
break.
this company.
Now let's break down the the Hogan Russo drama. Or do you want to cover Goldberg, Kevin Nash next? Do you just want
no. We'll cover the Goldberg Kevin Nash bit after this.
Okay,
Because it wasn't good. It didn't deserve to be covered before all this other shit.
So Hollywood Hulk Hogan is backstage. He's there. No, what a great way to pay that off. He's just backstage. He just
showed up, and he's in his ring gear. He's already in his ring gear.
Yeah. So
what? By the way. So the story is Hogan is. There's a possibility might not be showing up. They allude to this all night. But in the build-up to this fucking title match, fucking Mike Awesome, or was it Mike Awesome? Or no, it was Goldberg.
yeah,
Jackhammered him to fucking hell through a table. Because he turned heel, and he got, which is why the fucking thing semi-main evented, right? So Hogan got jackhammered through a table, like big style, right? And then so he's written out, right? And instead of going with the basic bare bones story that Hogan may not show up because of his injuries, well, we haven't heard from Hogan since then. We don't know if he's even showing up. We don't know if he no-showed. Huh?
Yeah, really odd. The commentators throughout the night are mentioning, that Hogan, made his name at Bass of the Beach, WCW.
Oh yeah, they go over a whole history lesson. Like if you're the biggest Hogan fan, which Jeff Beecham was pissed when he saw this, like you're like expecting a banger match, right?
Yeah.
Fuck?
Then Jeff Jarrett gets interviewed. He talks about, now that Hogan's here, he's ready to prove himself. He's ready to retain his title tonight and prove that he is the guy to build the company around.
No. That's not even what he says. Fucking Mean Gene goes, Hulk Hogan's here. He is in the building, Jarrett. What are you going to do now that he is here? Well, plan A, Plan A can't happen, so Plan B officially goes into effect. And then Mean Gene goes, "The hell is Plan B?" And it's like, "You'll find out soon enough."
Yep.
And I'm like,
yeah, I don't think Jeff.
They built this to be a shoot, but they built it to be a work. And
yeah, I don't know.
Oh fuck! What a mess.
So then, yeah, then it's time for the match. They have Michael Buffer do the ring introductions, which he does a very good job at.
Called it the main event of the evening when it's the...
Yeah, it's... So we should have known something was up.
Oh my god!
So then,
we still had Nash... Oh my god, what a mess. What a mess.
So the kayfabe reason for this match was, Jeff Jarrett... I mean, you kind of said the kayfabe reason, so I don't think I need to say it now. So Jeff Jarrett comes out... His music plays, actually. He doesn't come out for a while. I think it plays for a good 2 minutes or so, and he just doesn't come out. Obviously because... Well, we'll get to that. We know why he doesn't come out. But, yeah. Then Hollywood Hulk Hogan comes out. Fans are really into Hogan. He gets probably the biggest reaction of the whole show. Until Booker T probably comes out, but Hogan's really over here. Everyone can say what they want about Hogan, but you can't deny how over Hogan was.
So over here. He was so over, right?
Yeah.
He's the fucking reason this company stood a chance even in its dying fucking days. He's coming out, fan ovation. He's the immortal Hulk Hogan. He's walking down. He's in the black and white, even though it's not the NWO. It's but it's a black and white Hogan. It's Hollywood Hogan.
Yep. And then he gets into the ring. Jarrett's obviously hesitant about going to face him, obviously, because he's a heel and all that type of stuff.
Well, that's what you would think.
Yeah.
Dude, I counted. It took them 2 minutes and 4 seconds for fucking Jarrett to come out with Russo in tow. I think Russo came out first.
Yeah, he did.
And they fucking pretended, what's he doing back, right? Like, trying to sell the story that he was written off because they killed the New Blood storyline, by the way, 4 weeks fucking in. So, the guy with the New Blood comes out, and they're trying to fucking, sell this thing on commentary, he's not supposed to be here, he already fucking, he was supposed to be gone.
They mentioned, too, this isn't Vince Russo, the character, this is Vince
no, that doesn't come till later. They think he's in character here. Because he's coming out with a bat, by the way.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make it like it's in character. And then here comes Jarrett. Right?
And then, Hogan gets on the mic. He tells Jarrett pretty much that he's going to powerbomb him to hell and just beat the crap out of him. So then the match gets going. Jarrett, gets into the ring, after some hesitation. Vince Russo's out there. And then the match starts. About 5 seconds into it, Jarrett just takes a back bump, falls to the floor. Vince Russo throws in the WCW World Title.
Yeah, and he even says, you want the belt, bro? Go ahead. Make your fucking statement. Go ahead and pin him. Right? And he's screaming this. And fucking Schiavone, Madden, and Hudson all are at a loss of what's happening.
They're like, this isn't what's supposed to be happening right now. This isn't part of the script or anything like that. So then Vince Russo walks to the back, and then Hogan grabs the mic and tells Vince Russo, this is why this company is in the damn shape that it's in. On the pay-per-view, everybody already knows
bullshit like this. For the record, and he also, before that, says, is this your deal, Russo? This is why the company's in the damn shape it's in because of bullshit like this. And pins Jarrett.
Yep.
And then he walks to the back.
And then, this commentary selling this. They're like, this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to be part of our broadcast tonight. They're just mentioning, that this is all a shoot. They mentioned this is a shoot. This is not kayfabe and all that type of stuff.
We're talking about swerves. We've all been swerved. Was the call of the night by fucking Schiavone.
Oh, no, the call of the night was Schiavone was like, I think he mentioned, of all my years, I've never seen something like that. You could just see Shivani
He
his passion
was
just dies.
literally, his passion died right there because he's just literally like just throwing. He threw his pen and shit, and he's like fucking holding his hands in his head and shit. Now, mind you, he had no idea any of this was going to happen. It wasn't even written on the format sheet, right? What was agreed upon, if you watch Dark Side of the Ring and you try to put the fucking pieces together.
Again, we're probably never really going to know the full story.
We're never going to know the full story. But the way that I interpret this is, right, they all agreed that this was the plan. All men involved agreed that this was the plan. There were two things that weren't agreed on. Number one, that Booker T was not getting the fucking championship. It was supposed to stay on Jarrett, right? And the second thing is, Russo doesn't come out afterwards and cut a scathing shoot promo after they legitimately leave the arena to sell the realness of the story. So, this is a work up until that fucking moment. And what I have to fucking... And the only reason fucking Russo even got away with that little bit, by the way, is because he used Hulk Hogan and not Terry Bollea. If he used Terry Bollea, he would have been fucking sued indefinitely, and he would have been blackballed from the industry. But because he used Hulk Hogan, he got a get out of jail free card, basically.
He kind of already is blackballed from the business for the most part.
Now, after people kind of realize, okay, no, this guy's a fucking con artist. But, like, then he was able to get away with it because he didn't fucking use Hulk Hogan's real name. So, that's the only reason he was, like, around as long as he was after this. Yeah. So, and again, I could feel bad for Bischoff and Hogan. The only issue is, you knew you weren't running the company!
Yeah.
Why would you ever fucking trust Vince Russo with no fucking filter and nobody to manage him and ring him back? Even if it was with the best of fucking intentions.
I also had other things that were supposed to happen, like, they were supposed to, like, do, you know, originally, too, like, Hogan played his creative, like, free card, too. This is another story I've heard. At least from what I've gathered.
Yeah, that's not true. Like, they all agreed to it, and the only reason I even believe that they all agreed to it is because multiple people that saw the fucking meeting that were also there confirmed that that was the fucking story. So, that's what happened, right? Just because Hogan and Bischoff said it doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen. That's what happened. I think Sullivan was in there. I think Jamie Kellner may have been there.
Yeah,
people were there and confirmed that that's what happened. That was agreed upon before anything else. Russo took it way too far and cut the shoot promo that he did.
Well, before he even cut the shoot promo, we should mention when Vampiro comes back, the last image, the person he walks by when he's there is Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And that's the last time Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea ever shows up in WCW again. The last image is when Vampiro walks by.
Vampiro comes in for the fucking winner, as the winner of the graveyard match, and usually you see Hulk Hogan with the belt.
Yep. So, not even the real belt.
And also, by the way, if you don't believe that this was all fucking planned, up until Russo cut his shoot promo, right? Here's how you can tell. The belt that Hogan carried out did not have the dent in the top.
Correct.
The belt that Jarrett came out with later at the end of the show did have the dent. That's how you could tell that this was planned from jump. Until Russo jumped the shark. So that story undeniably is fucking true. So
let's talk about, I'll let you break down the promo because you picked this show for the reason. Talk about the shoot promo Vince Russo does once he comes out. This is when, now we know that this isn't Vince Russo.
The character, this is him actually shooting on Terry Bollea here. So, yeah. Hogan walks out. That was the last time he saw him. Then out comes Russo after the Vampiro fucking nonsense. And they say on commentary, and they have like the sad voices. This is Russo, the creative head. This is Russo, the person. And then he starts speaking. And he completely breaks all reality of what the sport's supposed to be. As if it wasn't already, right? And he says, I don't need this. I don't need this shit. I don't need the pro wrestling thing. I don't need this. But you know why I came back? I came back for the young guys. Guys like Booker T. Guys like Jeff Jarrett. Guys like MIA. Guys like the Filthy Animals. Guys like the Young Dragons. He named like a bunch of different people.
Who were booked shitty on the show anyways.
Yes. Yes. And he says, I came back for all those men and women who bust their ass for WCW that are behind that curtain. And you know who doesn't bust his ass? You know who doesn't give a shit? That goddamn politician Hulk Hogan. Right? That's what he says. And then he goes and continues. He's like, because Hulk Hogan wanted to use his creative control card. And that meant no matter what happened in the middle of this ring, Hulk Hogan beats Jeff Jarrett. Well, guess what? Hogan got his wish. Hogan could take his belt and he could go home, and I swear to God, or else I'll go in the fucking grave. You will never see that piece of shit again.
I think before that, too, he also basically says he won a fake belt. He basically puts down the WCW
Yes, that was after. No, that was after. He says, as far as I'm concerned, Jeff Jarrett is still the official WCW champion. That belt that Hogan has, that's the Hulk Hogan Memorial belt, and that belt don't mean shit. Right? Now, mind you, there were two reactions to the live audiences that are happening right now as this promo's being cut. Right? This is 2000. Right? Just put that in perspective.
Yeah.
Fans are cheering because they're either drunk or don't give a shit enough to fucking care that much. Or fans that do actually take the sport seriously and love WCW and love what Hogan did for WCW, even if some of them hated them in the beginning portions of his run, they're fucking leaving. You could see it slowly start to empty out. Even some of the people that were like in the upper rafters starting to go out. Because Hogan's getting shot on. Like Terry Bollea is the man who made WCW what it was.
Yep.
Is now having a shoot promo cut on him when the story itself was already confusing. And now he's getting buried on live TV.
I mean, we'll talk about this too. Like, again, this is 2000.
Yes.
Dirt seats, not a lot of people have access to them. The hardcore wrestling fans and stuff, like, a lot of people
They are
know.
all in, like, the fucking... We're talking when the Mother's Basement... That was a thing back then. These motherfuckers on their keyboards would be on these forums in the early stages of the internet. Like, we're talking back during Windows 98 era of fucking, like, going on forums. This is before XP.
So a lot of people don't have access to any of this stuff, so they don't know all these terms that they're talking about in the industry that Vince Russo is saying. And again, Vince Russo always says, I try to write for the casual fans. You're going out there and cutting promos that nobody knows anything about.
And I'm sure the way he's explained this over the years is he brought it back to the casual fans by mentioning the young guys. But if you're focusing on the casual fans, people cared a lot more about Hulk Hogan than they did about Booker T.
That's true.
That's nothing against Booker T. Lord knows I love the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's been nothing but great to me. He's actually one of the few wrestling personalities that isn't a dick to his fans and will always respond to you. So I have nothing but respect for this guy. This is not a dig on him by any goddamn means. But in reality, Booker T is not as popular in the casual fans' eyes as Hulk Hogan is. because Hulk Hogan is what brought them in to watch WCW, most of them, in the first goddamn place.
Right.
Holy shit. And then he books up impromptu main event. Just books it.
Right.
Booker T will be facing Jeff Jarrett, and the way he puts it over, he's putting these guys over like Rover, right? And so the fans that are still sticking around with this shit, they're biting on his every word, even though they're booing Jarrett, right, when he mentions him. And he fucking, like, you can love him or you can hate him, but he busts his ass for WCW, and that person is Jeff Jarrett, right? Now hold on. We all promised you that there was going to be a world title match. Well, there's another person that has been busting his ass for years and could never get a goddamn shake because of that goddamn politician Hulk Hogan, and his name is Booker T, right? Like, never mind the fact that Hulk Hogan, from jump, was advocating for Booker for years.
I know, yeah.
Years!
Yeah, for this
What
Booker
do you
T
mean?
Yeah.
Like, Hulk Hogan buried people, but the one person he didn't bury, you said he held down. What? Okay.
This is also like
What the fuck?
Booker T hadn't been a single star too all that long. Like
He
when
just started in '98, 2 years, 3 years ago. Oh my god. Oh
like he
my
just
god.
broke into a singles guy not that long ago. The same Booker T, by the way, that not that long ago lost his name and it was G.I. Bro. Vince Russo was holding him
he
down
led his
probably
own
more than
faction for like a hot minute in the MIA. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
yeah.
Never get
The same-
a goddamn shake. What do you mean? What are you talking about? He was in one of the fucking huge spots on the card against the Outsiders for the tag titles with his brother. What do you mean he never got a fair shake? He was in like prominent storylines during the NWO time period.
He was a WCW World Television Champion for like a while. Like
I was fucking baffled. Baffled. He had a best of 7 series with Benoit. He never got a fair shake though. What do you mean, dude? What are you talking about? He was injured for like the last half of '98.
That essentially puts down everything, by the way, that Booker T had accomplished up until that point, by the way.
He
Puts down
never could get a fair shake because of that goddamn politician Hulk Hogan. One of the few people that advocated for him, even after he accidentally called him the N-word on live TV.
Right.
He fucking just... Dude, you're good. I had no offense to it. Obviously, we know why now. What the fuck? What are you talking about? And then he ends the promo, and Hulk Hogan, you bald son of a bitch, kiss my ass, tosses the mic down, and storms off to the back. And the remaining people that are there bite onto their every word, because again, they're either drunk or don't care that much. And then they go to the commentary team.
This is when Shivani's passion really died.
Shivani has his hands on his head, and he's like, Scott Hudson said, that was not on the format sheet, folks. Like,
Yep.
none of this was on the format sheet. And then fucking Mark Madden, because he's just a Russo show, because Russo gave him the job. He's like, if Vince Russo was a woman, I'd marry him.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Shivani, I think Shivani was not taking any of Madden's, but he wasn't Madden's.
well, it's not even that he was taking Madden, because I don't even think he was mad at Madden for, like, the first time. He was just over it all. Like, even his hatred for Madden. He looks at Madden, right? And he just looks at him, he's like, "Hey, boy, how long have we been doing this?"
Yeah.
And then fucking Madden goes to him, and he looks at him, and he's like, "About 1,000,000 years." So, like, they're both sick of, like, everybody's just like, what is happening right now? And then they just pitch to the next promo, which is Goldberg versus Dash. And, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's this whole debacle wrapped up in a fucking nutshell until we get to the main event. where Booker T at least gets the world championship for the first time in his career under absurd, fucking ridiculous circumstances, but at least he was a world champion.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but yeah, this promo is just years too early. Really bad. Really puts down WCW. Puts down Hulk Hogan. Like, I know
Puts
Vince
down the fucking wrestling business.
Yeah, I know Vince went out there and broke kayfabe when he introduced the Attitude Era, but Vince didn't put down the. I'm sorry, Vince McMahon, I should say. I have to be clear there. Vince McMahon didn't put down the business, though. He actually elevated the business when he broke kayfabe.
Elevated the business. He broke kayfabe twice, and it actually, like, it boomed the industry twice. Oh! Fuck! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting angry. No, tranquilo. Tranquilo.
Yeah.
Oof. Like, whoo. Whoo.
Yeah,
fuck, man.
Just... Oh, hold on. I'm going to switch Wi-Fi's real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
That's why I'm having issues.
Go for it. Yeah, no. You see, even your Wi-Fi doesn't want you talking about this. Fucking hell, man.
I know, yeah. It won't even let me switch. It won't even let me switch Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm on Bluetooth. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you've been on Bluetooth for a while because of the internet issues, right? Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Hello.
All right, let's see if this works better. I didn't realize I was on the other Wi-Fi, so this is the better Wi-Fi. All right, but yeah, anyhow, I hope this video doesn't come out choppy because of that.
It's whatever. At this point, this was gonna be as long as it gets done. As I told you, it gets done. We've been having. That was like the one thing that's like you can't get around. Hey, we're shooting on you right now. Hey. Shit fucks up, but hey, we're not gonna fucking ruin our podcast about it. Whew.
But yeah, this was just terrible. And again, I think it's pretty much after this. I think WCW pretty much dies after this. Like, it doesn't last that much longer.
If there was any hope of WCW surviving, even despite the Bill Watts controversy, there was no hope for it at all after this. If there was any hope, it died after this segment, dude.
By the way,
the ratings tank, by the way, following this. I think they were, like, morbidly curious the following Nitro after this went down, and then they booked that Nitro to shit, and then it just went downhill. Yeah.
By the way, we should look up real quick. What was going on in... Because, you know, you said the Nitro. What was going on in WWF at the same time? We should actually check that out real quick before we break down the next match.
I can tell you what was happening around this same time. Fucking SummerSlam or No Mercy.
Yeah.
It was either Kurt Angle won the World Championship or...
Well, it was July, so it was... Let's take a look at what was going on in 2000. The July 10th, 2000 episode of Raw. Let's see what happened on that show. Oh, look at this! It says the graphic says Stephanie McMahon Helmsley has a surprise for Y2J, and Lita faces Trish Stratus in a street fight. That's the main thing that they say happened.
That already sounds like 10 times interesting than what the fuck we've been reviewing all show. Already. Yeah. I'm sold. You hooked me. Hook, line, and sinker. That's it.
Yeah. WWF is like, you know... This is also the same time the Stephanie McMahon Rock Triple H storyline and stuff like that's going on. So
yes. It's phenomenal. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah,
so fucking wow. Oh.
Let's see what... Should we see what the title code is for WCW's that's the Nitro for the same date? Let's see what that is. Let me check.
Oh, this is gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Let's see what it says. It
might as well. Much. At this point, we're going lawn. We're going lawn, folks.
I figured that. I mean, again, it's your last video for a while, so I figured you would allow it.
Yes.
All right, so let's see what it says for the July 10th episode of Nitro.
Ooh.
Okay, admittedly, this is Booker T defends WCW against Mike Awesome. Well, a new number of
You forget. This is on paper. You don't know the finishes between all this.
Yeah, so
keep that in mind before you say, "Oh, this looks promising."
Yeah, so we don't know. But anyhow, let's continue.
What a waste of time, man.
But anyhow, let's continue. By the way, Seth Hogan versus Jarrett's a match. We have to I give it -5 stars.
No
It is a
shit.
match.
No shit. It's -5 stars. Holy shit, man. Like, this segment's a big thumbs down plus, and fucking -5 stars for the match. I mean, what a fucking mess. What a mess.
Then we have before the Vince Russo promo, Goldberg cut the promo, and yeah, he's just talking a bunch of gibberish. I think too. Again, you have to. Again, this is after the stint stuff. This is after the Hogan shit. So you have to kind of,
Yeah, he's stumbling over his words. By the way, fucking Goldberg's no slouch on the mic. He can actually cut a hell of a promo. Here, I think he's just like kind of taken aback by everything that's going on. Like, because he's watching this, I'm sure, on the monitor somewhere. And, like, so he's, like, trying to fucking... I think Mean Gene even said, on what has been an unforgettable night... By the way, Mean Gene's got to be pissed, because Hulk Hogan's, like, his #1 guy. So he's like, after what has been an unforgettable night, Bill Goldberg, you have a chance to end Scott Hall's career. What can you tell us, right?
Yeah, so Goldberg says, like... he talks about how he has Scott Hall's contract. He said that he's been holding it hostage. He said
yes,
that
it takes all the professional courtesy not to rip this contract up right now.
Even though professionalism's out of the window by this point.
Like, dude, professionalism where? And, by the way, we're still doing this fucking I hold a grudge for Scott Hall hitting me with a cattle prod a year and a half after it happens? Really?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Goldberg was injured for most of it.
But we wrapped up this storyline in early '99.
Yeah.
Like, we had a cattle prod ladder match, which was good because Scott Hall was in it. That's not good enough. We have to fucking just bring this back a fucking year later, and we have to turn Goldberg heel on a convoluted ass bullshit, and then Nash just doesn't care, and somehow he's the babyface because of course he is.
I mean, I'll admit, I think a lot of people gave shit to The Undertaker for waiting too long to get his revenge on Brock Lesnar, but Undertaker was injured throughout most of that time. And at least he had to deal with Bray Wyatt originally, too, so he had bigger fish to kind of fry and all that type of stuff, so it's like...
Yes, that made sense. They were in the company for ages.
Yeah.
Ages.
But yeah, so Goldberg says, that he's going to rip up this contract, and he looks forward to that. Not a good promo here.
Rip it off into his face after he stumbled his words at some point in this promo. I don't even know when.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Everybody knows I'm not the biggest Goldberg fan anyways, so, yeah. Then we have the match. It's Goldberg versus Kevin Nash for Scott Hall's contract. The reason this is happening is, Scott Hall isn't there because apparently... There was reports he was having an affair with, like, one of the network executives' daughters.
Yeah, so he was drunk, which was already a problem. And then he was also fucking... He was fucking Jamie Kellner's daughter, I think, at this time. Yes.
Yeah, so he didn't want him back on TV. Scott
he got fired. He got fired after this match happened, and then he went to ECW, which was wild. Like, that was the last big star ECW ever acquired was Scott Hall.
I never know Scott Hall was in ECW. So.
Yes, that's the reason why. It's because of this.
But yeah, Goldberg came back after his injury, and he fucking turned heel because it's Russo. And it ruined Goldberg. Like, it was basically the end of Goldberg's him being able to stay credible.
It could have worked, but you forget who books it.
Yeah.
You do. You forget who books it, and then you're like, oh wait, this is gonna be fun.
And obviously Kevin Nash was defending, Scott Hall, his legacy and everything like that. So he was gonna fight for his contract. Yeah, this is also just
what a fucking disaster. So just to recap, Hogan gets shot on, and then Hogan files for a defamation lawsuit and quits WCW afterward on the spot. And now Scott Hall's fired, so all that's left is Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
In Daytona!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously big because this is where the NWO forms, so this is where Goldberg wants to kill Scott Hall's career and everything like that. I mean, again, it's all fitting, by the way, that this is kind of the last of the NWO because they were in Bash of the Beach. It's just... You know,
What
this
a
could have been good
fucking,
choice.
it could have been great. It should have happened a year prior. Like, what the fuck? And yeah, let's just get this over with. Big Hoss phoned it. A Big Hoss match to the fucking laziest degree. Both men phoned it in. Even for Bill Goldberg, that's saying a lot. Fucking nobody's fucking giving a shit. The only highlight of this match was Scott Steiner turning on Goldberg, and then Goldberg hits the spear and jackhammer barely on fucking Nash. 1, 2, 3. Rips his fucking contract, but Dage is out with them, and then they're the team, and then again they bring it up. What a wild night! And now we see Nash and Goldberg. They're going back to kayfabe and reality, and they don't even care about this. And then it's
this is a star. This was terrible. I'll
rate it -1 star because nothing could be worse than fucking Hogan and fucking Jarrett.
I will say this too, there was a couple of things I liked out of this. There's a segment when like Kevin Nash is backstage and he's wondering if Scott Hall has his back, and it looked like Scott Hall's either taking a piss or getting a blowjob from somebody.
No. So you mean Steiner? Yeah, he's getting obviously, I think with Dave's just like giving him a blowjob or whatever, and it's like, I'll be out there in a minute. Come on, man, get serious. It's Scott Hall's contract. It's like, yeah. Well, it's not my problem. I'll be out there in a minute.
Also, by the way, too, you mentioned the Scott Hall not the Scott Hall, Scott Steiner interference.
Yes.
Right in front of the referee. The ref doesn't have his back.
Just nobody cares about anything. Oh my god. Just the ref could call a DQ. And this would have called for it, at least. Even in WCW, it would have called for it. In 2000, you had an opportunity to just be the referees like, fuck being lenient and ring the damn bell, right? And then you could have at least had an angle. It would have been stupid because the angle would have been like, well, you're lax with all these other matches, but you're not lax with mine. And then you could have had a legal thing, and at least you have story. No,
also,
just don't care. No rules, whatever.
I also hate it too, like, when a wrestler is trying to fight for their job, that wrestler's not there to fight for their job, so Kevin Nash had to do it for him instead. It's like, what a bit Scott Hall looks like. The fact that he's not even there to defend himself. It's like, the hell. It's like, were they trying to bury Scott Hall on the way out? Like,
yes, oh yes, absolutely. They were trying to bury Scott Hall on the way out. Yes. Oh my god!
I just remembered. I hate to tell you this, James, because this is the last we see of Vince Russo. We've never done a career retrospective on Vince Russo before. So you wanna? Yeah, it's just. I don't think we've done it. I hate to tell you that, but I don't think we've done a career retrospective on Vince Russo. How do we go about this? There's so many ways you can.
Okay, I'm gonna be tranquilo when I speak on this. I gotta speak on this with tranquilo. I gotta have some tranquility. Tranquility, man. Oh, okay. So Bischoff, Russo was in the WWF, and then he came to WCW and kibossed that because he sucks without a filter. And then he failed WCW, and then he was fired before 2000 was even over. 2000 never recovered into 2001, and they were sold for pennies on the dollar. Now, they were fucked anyway, regardless, as I said, so he was hardly the only reason why WCW died. Just their creative aspirations were. TNA happens. Jarrett was very happy that Russo booked him very nicely in shit WCW, and he made him the head booker of TNA, and he bungled that bag, and then he was fired.
What, like 4 times?
4 times, and then he was brought back, and then he fired again, and then he was brought back, and he was fired again, and he was brought back in secret by Dixie fucking Carter. And Spike TV said, fuck you! We told you not to bring this bastard back, and you brought it back anyway, and because he stooged himself off like a fucking idiot, to fucking Mike Johnson of PW Insider instead of Mike Tenay of TNA. And that was the end of Vince Russo, and now he runs a fucking podcast called The Brand, and who gives a shit? And now he's fucking calling Tony Khan. He fucking has the goddamn balls to say to Tony Khan, you need to learn from your mistakes. What a rich fucking comment coming from you, Mr. I failed a company 5 fucking times. 5 time. Worst Booker of the Year award winner. Talking about learning from your mistakes. Oh, and then to say, you should worry about the young athletes. Well, you sucked at booking them in WCW, and you sucked at booking them in TNA, and the only reason why any of it fucking worked is because the people you put them in the stupid storylines in. Right? Because they fucking, anything they touched turned to fucking gold because that roster was stacked in TNA. And that's the only reason why it got around for so long, even in the stupid shit you booked. Fuck, dude. What are you talking about? What are you going on about on fucking social media? You have no place to say when you're still making the same mistakes, even on a podcast sense. Don't talk to me about, oh, Tony Khan, he needs to learn from his mistakes. Hey, let other people that actually have more credibility than you tell him that. You don't need to tell him that because he's not listening to you and nobody should.
There's other things he's been saying too, James. He's been saying Paul Heyman, Bruce Pritchard, and Triple H only write the show what they like instead of what the ratings dictate. Instead of what the ratings dictate.
Yeah, Paul Levesque only likes what he likes. Gee, so do you. Isn't that the whole basis why you left the fucking Federation and went to WCW to write your own bullshit without a filter?
And meanwhile, he's saying this, by the way. Paul Levesque only writes what he likes. Apparently what he likes is good because the ratings go up when Paul Levesque writes the fucking shows. Oh, but there's more stuff he's been saying. Vince Russo's been talking about how wrestling's not the same anymore. When I wrote stuff, it was Crash TV. The matches were long, boom, boom. Now I'm seeing this match like 20 minutes on Raw. What's a match doing being 20 minutes on?
What are you talking about? You had fucking matches go fucking 15 at least on this show. You had fucking matches on Nitro go fucking eternity because you were fucking still trying to book the show on the fly. You in TNA when you had your craptastic booking matches went that fucking long. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh.
There's 2 more things. He says that Cody Rhodes isn't over with the casual fans. No one's tuning in for Cody Rhodes.
What casual fans? There's none left, but okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then what was the last thing he said? There was one more. Oh, he mentioned that this is actually on the IWC a little bit because he said, well, with SmackDown leaving Fox, it looked like Roman's going to get drafted to Raw now. Everybody took, because Vince Russo said it, everybody took that as news pretty much. Like everybody took that as yeah, it's bad.
Oh, I just had an outer body experience, bro.
That might have been the best career retrospective we've ever done for anybody. So,
holy shit, man!
Oh, by the way,
what a guy, Vince Russo. Nobody like him. Never again. Only once.
I mean, this is a minor thing. We forgot to mention one thing, by the way. Ernest the Cat Miller, by the way, his because they broke kayfabe. He's never on the show anymore. He just disappears from the show because he's just gone.
He's not even there.
He's just
the kayfabe commissioner is no longer the commissioner. I think after this point, right, or some shit. Or is he still the commissioner? I don't even know. I think they fucking go in and out with him. Fuck, man.
Have we done a career retrospective of Ernest the Cat Miller?
What else can we say after his run in WCW? He fucking went to WWE and became Brodus Clay 1.0.
There you go.
That's all we got. I don't know.
And then Norman Smiley. Let's do a career.
Did we do a
on
career?
him.
Oh, well, Norman Smiley, I think we
He's-
did. I think we did in one of the Halloween Havocs, because
Okay.
No. You will do one, honestly, you will do one on Halloween Havoc, because I think, no. And does he show up in Halloween Havoc 90 yet? I don't know. Fuck it. I'll do it quick. He was cool, and he was cool. Everybody liked him. He was a really good wrestler, and he was a fun sports entertainer guy. He showed up at the XWF for a cup of coffee until he got bought out to be a trainer in OVW, and then later FCW and then NXT. And he's been there ever since.
Yeah. And then Ralphus unfortunately passed away, I don't know, and like sometime in 2020, so that's sad.
Well, definitely COVID then. If it was 2020, I would bet you a lot that it was COVID.
And then
allegedly.
Vito would go on to, leave WCW after it ended, and then like he did stuff in WWE.
Where he wore dress. He wore a dress in WCW. He took Perry Saturn's gimmick, which ironically made more sense when Saturn did it because he was forced to, and then just kind of embraced it, and then Vito just wanted to do it just because. I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. He made it work too, to be fair to him, because Vito knows how to turn shit into gold because he's a good hand.
And then he got released for no reason, and then
he's friends with Vince Russo and doing I think he's still doing the brand with him.
Okay, so. Vito did stuff with NoDQ.com for a little bit.
Yes, he did. Cool. Yeah, I believe he was in the early stages of the NoDQ review, and
him and Virtue had like a falling out. So
good. Vito. Me too, bud. Me too. Gabagoo. Get in contact with me. We can fucking talk shit about it.
I might be wrong on that.
No. We'll do it on the air. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk shit about people unless they fucking know we are. So let's go on the air, buddy. You and me. We can talk about how great Virtue is as a person.
I might be wrong on that though, because they might have patched things up since then. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
But I remember.
Lord knows I need to get better at that. To be fair, but
Yeah. I might, but I do remember Vito just disappears off no DQ review, and there was some exchanges on social media.
Yeah, sounds about right. Medeja.
I don't know. She's just chilling.
She's chilling.
She's mid-Asia.
She might still be. Rumor has it she's still in the backstage giving Scott Steiner a nice blowy to this day.
She did some stuff. She did some stuff after WCW ended. She was in World Wrestling All Stars and Ultimate Pro Wrestling in 02 and 03. That
was it. She's just gone.
She just gone, There's nothing else.
That's really weird that when they brought Scott Steiner in, they didn't bring Medeja. I'm actually shocked they didn't. You would have thought she would have been a shoe-in for a valet for Scott when he came in.
Yeah. Okay, let's go over the last end of the show, which is probably one of the biggest positives of the show.
The only positive of the show, and even then the match was fucking rushed. Because they were short on time, by the way.
First, Booker T gets interviewed. He talks about how big of an opportunity that it's going to be for him to become a world champion, and he says that he's going to make the most out of this opportunity and not going to let the company down and all that type of stuff. It was actually a really good promo by Booker. I thought was really
he was super serious. Like he knew this was his. Like he knew this was his moment, regardless of how the fuck it was happening. So
then we had the WCW World Heavyweight Championship match. It was Jeff Jarrett defending against Booker T. Yeah, really good stuff here, I thought. Match was really rushed, but Booker T comes out. They tell the story throughout the match that T, even though they both wrestled, Booker T took more damage because Jeff Jarrett really didn't do much, which is kind of weird because they have to kind of, blend the kayfabe and reality. And Booker T's not really doing a good job, like, selling the injuries he took from, the Canyon match, but whatever. They ball around the crowd. Jarrett hits a really good power driver on the announce table. Booker T mounts a comeback. It's a really good spine buster. He eventually the referee gets knocked down. Booker T It hits the bookend, but it's not the finish because it's just not.
Because of course it isn't.
And then Jarrett tries to go off the top rope with a guitar, and Booker T counters that to a bookend. He gets the victory. Booker T becomes the new WCW.
Yeah, after
champion.
a referee does like a full-on sprint, by the way, into the ring, and then counts to 3.
Yeah, the show ends. I wish they would have left the show on like another couple minutes. So
Yeah, the crowd that was left there in the arena went nuts when Booker actually won, because they'd been there with him since the beginning, I'm sure, whatever the fuck was left of the fans. So they were elated to see him get the due that he was owed for so long. Which,
this was
again, love that he gets his due. I take nothing away from Booker, and I understand that there was good intentions by Russo doing all of this shit, even if it was such a backstabbing fucking way to do it to other people. He loved Booker. He wanted Booker to get that dub. Wow, what a sacrifice to get there.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, I'll give the match like 3.5 stars though. Really good stuff. I thought it was just really rushed.
Very rushed.
Unfortunately, it's the same thing we've talked about with MJF with his moments. You know, he came back last year at All Out, and no one really talked about it because of all the bullshit with All Out.
Yes, and what happened with after MJF and Adam Cole had the best main event, sports entertainment storytelling type main event in a long goddamn time.
Especially too, like All In being as successful as it wasn't talked about at the end of the day. I mean, again, I wasn't watching back then, but I guarantee you, not a lot of people. And you know,
I can confirm with you that is exactly correct. And now
when you go back,
we planned this months before all this bullshit happened with AEW. Just for the record, I want you guys to know this must have been a fucking omen, because we did this. We planned this in August of 2023. It is now October. You know, coincidence? Yes. A sign from God, a sign from whatever the fuck you believe in, sure. I can believe both. I believe both.
Yeah.
There was no way this show wasn't chosen by the elder gods for us to review and explain to you why what happened at All In happened, because you had people like Vince Russo popularizing the work shoot promo even back in 2000. So, and it ruined the fucking show that wasn't that great to begin with. So, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And that happened, you know, now with All In, which was the reverse of that. Was a phenomenal
really great show that got overshadowed by backstage crap.
Yeah.
And
you know, and again, you know, we're gonna go back to this. I think, you know, Booker T and MJF are alike. You know, both their big moments. Like when you go back and think of the show now, you don't remember it for Booker T winning his first world title. You remember it for the backstage drama,
which is the fucking. That's the irony of all this. But again, he had the destination, and his heart was in the right place. He completely fucking bungled the bag on how people remember Booker T's first world title win. Most people don't even realize until you watch the end of the show that this is his first world title.
Yeah.
Until Russo mentions it, and then they forget about it afterwards because all they talk about is the fucking Hogan shit.
Yep.
So, yeah, man. Like,
I also have to say this, by the way, too. The main event of the show technically was going to be Goldberg versus Kevin Nash, I guess. What a word. Like, that was it. That was going to, like, if
for somebody else's contract. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, I think somebody should have known something was amiss when the main event wasn't the Hogan match, because that was like the biggest selling point of the whole show.
It was just, what is going on? All night long, what was going on?
Yeah.
I was stun locked. Even then, still to this day, talking about it, stun locked.
This show, I think, is an easy F. It's as good as there's some stuff on here.
Yeah, easily F. I was gonna be like D- to be nice, but no, it's like again. I've seen worse. Sadly, I've seen worse. Vince Russo's done. This is easy F.
Yeah.
This is easy F. Again, not the worst show I've seen, because that would come in a few months' time when he won the WCW World Title in a War Games match on Thunder.
Right.
But
I did look this up too. Right after this, I think Goldberg, Kevin Nash,
yeah,
and somebody else
Goldberg goes off the script as well. They fucking It just kept happening because they thought it worked so well the first time because of the ratings were spiking, and so they're like, well, "This is the formula. This is the formula. Go, 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 go." And then you're just like,
Meanwhile, WWF is producing banger fucking shows, and their ratings are going up even further
because they didn't piss on their storylines and blow the fourth wall open.
Like, I'll admit, we're gonna do this when we do our tier list for retros that we reviewed. I've reviewed some bad retros, as you know. I've reviewed Battleground 2013. I've reviewed Battleground 2017.
This easily out of the shows we've done this year, easily this is the shittiest. This is the shittiest show of all time. This is the bottom of the barrel of wrestling shows.
Because I like to think, as bad as those shows are, there was at least good intentions behind those shows. They tried it.
There was, well, no, that's not even fair to say, because there was good intentions behind this show was also, as we have just discussed. Yeah. So, all of them are, but on all those bad shows, there wasn't this blatant effort to blow the fourth wall wide open and completely piss anybody off that was a fan of Mr. Hogan.
I mean, maybe, the Raw Underground show, you could say, because then it's like, but that's the pandemic. You have to kind of give the Raw Underground show a little bit of a pass, because they were just trying anything during the pandemic.
Yeah, I would, and even then, like, there was good shit on the show, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The only things that I could think that, and I think have been worse than WCW Bash at the Beach 2000, are the first ever Thunderdome show, because that was all over the goddamn place. And they didn't, the lighting, the LEDs were fucked.
That might be retro someday.
Anything from 2018 late on was fucking garbage on the main roster. But there was some good moments on there, so not every show was bad, but there have been some stinkers. Well,
SmackDown was slightly fine. So
SmackDown was slightly fine, yes. It was boring. But even then, those shows, I don't know if they could compare to WCW 2000 in just blowing the fourth wall wide open all the damn time. It was endless. The only thing that may have been worse is when TNA 20 Time was a thing, which is basically just WCW 2000 all over again. So I've been through worse. I've been through worse with that.
Those will be retro some days. I feel like you're picking them some days.
Yeah, they're, like, a tag team division is not what's going to save that fucking entire fucking show. There's no way. They sucked. Yeah. They sucked at booking the X division. They sucked at some point. They sucked at booking the tag division, and then they just it went to shit. So, yeah, it was, man, fuck. This show is just happy Halloween.
I feel like too why this show is bad too. Also, is it, like you said, it damages the business. Like, there's shows that are bad that don't damage the business, but this show just damages the business.
Yes. And the thing is, I wouldn't consider this I would consider this the worst show had there wasn't other WCW and WWE and TNA shows that have actually surpassed this since, and I've seen those shows. So
you'll have to educate me someday.
Yeah, trust me. There's a lot more to that shit cake, especially in 2000, I'll tell you. But that won't be until a few months' time, because I'm fucking out of here.
How did you feel this was your last? How fitted was it too? The whole reason you left the industry, right, is because of
nonsense like this. Yes, I know, right?
and it was your last match. It's your last. Joe
Man,
Last.
life's if God exists, he has a fucking great sense of humor, doesn't he?
I wanted your last video to be the rundown, but we couldn't make that work. This was your last.
This is my last video
for a while.
for a
Like,
very long while, and I'm on a 3-month hiatus, and with the exception of open mic nights on rare occasions, very rare occasions. Fuck.
I think we discussed. We'll hype it now. Your first video back on a wrestling capacity. We're gonna do a tier list of all the retros that has been covered on the Wrestling Fortune 44 channel.
Yes,
so.
a part of the end of the year awards for the rundown, I think. Yeah, so it's, man, what a fun. What a show!
What a way!
What a way to go!
What a way to go out! What a way for you to go out! Like,
hey! I do want to point out. There's so many people sometimes that say, well, James is negative all the time. James is negative. Don't ever fucking tell me that again, because I tried to give this show some fucking praise. I did. And there was good stuff on this show if you really looked for it. I pointed them out on this show. So don't ever fucking tell me that again. I don't want to hear it from any of you motherfuckers. I don't care who the fuck you are. And the people who have said it, you know who the fuck you are. Sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up.
Before you end this off, you actually were trying to point out positive stuff, and I can't.
You're the one who was more negative than I was. Yeah. It's funny how that works. It's funny how that works. It's just fucking unbelievable, man. Oh, what a show.
We never did the career retrospectives. Maybe you could just do them real quick on Mark Madden and Scott.
Fucking Scott Hudson. I don't know him. Mark Madden, I know. But after WCW, he was never anything in the wrestling industry ever again, and he went back to just covering football mainly. I think he commented on pro wrestling every now and again, and then he might still, for all I know, and I don't give too much of a shit to fucking care. So
actually, there's a sentence I'll read you about his wrestling. He attended an All Elite Wrestling event for Dynamite and Elevation, and they showed him in the crowd, and the crowd booed him. They didn't like him.
Oh, poor guy, man. Like, you know what the funny thing is too? Like, as a person, he's probably a great guy. They boo him because of his time in WCW. Where Russo was making him to be like fucking Jerry Lawler 2.0, man.
Yeah, I'll read a word for word. I'll read these next two paragraphs like word for word. So on August 11, 2021, Madden was booed while in attendance at the All Elite Wrestling event at the Preston Event Center for AEW Dynamite and AEW Dark Elevation, sitting ringside. During the Dark Elevation taping, he was acknowledged on air by former WCW colleagues Tony Schiavone and Paul White and guest commentator Eddie Kingston during the Sammy Guevara's Pentacle match when Guevara threw...
Oh, no. And Schiavone and Kingston? Oh man! Oh no, he was annihilated. He had to have been. There's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way they would have. They absolutely, dude. I know Schiavone at least has better memories than people lead on. Like he didn't actually hate Madden. He just hated what Russo made Madden do, which has always been the case. But there's no way they just. There's no way Kingston didn't fucking say something and Schiavone's like busting a gut laughing. There's no way! There's no way! I have to see this now. I actually have to see this episode of Elevation just to see how fucking Eddie Kingston reacted.
So then there's another paragraph. On November 17th, 2021, Madden returned to the wrestling podcast, and when he became the host of Ric Flair's Wound Nation Uncensored, the podcast came to him an abrupt end on March 27th, 2022, when Madden announced his resignation and thanked Flair for the opportunity, which was followed by Flair admitting that Madden was fired and replaced by Flair's son-in-law, Conrad Thompson. And eventually led to
I did hear about this. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And it eventually led to a Twitter exchange that saw the two end their friendship after 35 years. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
this was during the fucking time where you know, Flair was burning a lot of fucking bridges, still probably is, after the Plane Ride from Hell documentary from Dark Side of the Ring. So, yeah, that makes sense. That actually lines up.
But yeah, like, Mark Madden hasn't done much, and Scott Hudson we can't look up because he doesn't have a Wikipedia page, which is unfortunate, so, you know.
Well, is it unfortunate in the wrestling context?
it'd be helpful for the show. You know?
He was a football commentator for a while. I think he's the brother of. I swear he's the brother of John Madden, isn't he?
Who? Scott Hudson?
Yeah, John Madden is Mark Madden's brother. I swear.
Why would you ask?
Why
would you think? Why would you think I would know that?
Talk to Chris. We'll talk about it in post on like a different. You can talk about it in post on the retro you do with Chris on Halloween Havoc. Ask him that question before you even start the air. Just throw him that monkey wrench to start.
I'll probably forget.
I'll remind you. Just let me know when you're about to record, and I'll fucking remind you.
But yeah, that's the end of this video. Yeah, I think that's it. You know, it's your last video on YouTube for a while. That's not an open mic night or something like that. So you know.
Yeah.
I feel.
Do we know Scott Hudson? We didn't even go over Scott Hudson. I just said I don't know.
Yeah, we said we don't know. So.
Okay, fair enough then. Fuck it.
But yeah, anything. I mean, this is weird. I have to add anything you want to plug or promote, but you have nothing. It's just you have nothing for a change.
The only thing I can plug is I'll be on open mic night Haunted Hangman, and that would be by the time this is out. Yeah, okay, so this will be out tomorrow. Yeah, you'll see me tonight at 11:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll be off until the next special open mic night, which is I think a karaoke, and then after that is Christmas karaoke. So I'll be on open mic nights exclusively and very exclusively to only the special open mic nights. So if you want to see me do stupid, check that out. I'll be doing Hangman. I'm playing the Hangman game, not Hangman Unpaged, but like the Haunted Hangman, and because it's Halloween, spoopy, scary, skeletons, shivers down your spine, all that shit.
As for my stuff, WWE Aftershock, I'm gonna be recording that tomorrow. I'm gonna watch SmackDown. I might just bite the bullet and watch it right after this because I know if I don't watch it now, it won't get. Then the WWE Aftershock won't get done. But yeah, so check out WWE Aftershock covering this week's stuff. And then check out AEW Spoke, where we're going to be covering Battle of the Belts week and everything like that. So that'll be fun. That will be out at some point. Check out. I'm hoping we can get these retros out. The reason retros have also been less frequent recently is because
you've been busy, I've been busy, and so has every other goddamn person, and we had people leave. So we've kind of been we're short staffed right now as well. So
as of right now, the plan for next week is to do 3 Halloween Havoc retros: 1995, 1998. And Chris and I are going to do 1991. I know you and the Indie Force did 1991, but that's going to be like a makeup one since I wasn't there for it. So we're going to do 1991.
That's fair. You could do 1991, give a different perspective. That's cool.
And then the go-home week of Crown Jewel. Chris Dodd and I are going to do Crown Jewel 2021 to get a Saudi show in there. It's really the only good Saudi show that's a Crown Jewel event. So that's why we're doing that one. So
Yes.
And I think we'll need to do a good show because I think we're doing some shit. Halloween Havoc 91. I'm not sure, but I think we're doing some.
Halloween Havoc is an okay show. It's not as bad as fucking 2000, but there's some shit on that show, so be prepared. But it's not as bad. You'll have a good time. There's some campiness elements you'll love about it as well. It's pretty fucked up. It's a pretty fucked up show.
So yeah, we're going to be doing some wild retros for a while. So that's why I think Crown Jewel 2021 will be like a normal one. And yeah, you always see other retros. You're going to see retros on the hype up to Survivor Series once that starts picking up. And then, I think there's some, you're going to see some. And then you'll see a rundown at some point. Probably going to be after Survivor Series just because that's the best time I can get it done. I'm trying to think. Because I'm trying to remember when Survivor. It might be like a little after Thanksgiving actually, because Survivor Series and Thanksgiving always clashes. So we'll figure it out. But just check out everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And since this is being recorded in the past, we will talk to you guys. Well, I will talk to you guys in the future.
Bye bye, everybody.
We doing all the classics, you heard it, then I grabbed it. Flow like Method Man, then run like I'm Rabbit. Soon as I hear the bass line, it be my FaceTime. Music's in my veins, so just in case I'm without my iPod or a media player, I'll check my